I hate this one.
Yeah, I'm not feeling this one either.
Oh, fuck my life.
Oh, God, that's so loud.
Why?
That is so loud.
Way too loud.
It wasn't too bad.
What's going on? Okay, so I had things going. I was listening live. Production value, people.
We didn't get to make fun of the intro yet. I'm
All right, we just lost 40 people.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty quick.
Wow.
That was
like that.
That was pathetic. Yes, ear splitting. Yes, that was definitely ear splitting.
Yeah, it's maybe time to re-edit that.
Yeah, his name is Culture Casino, and he thinks he's better than all of us, so he tries to sabotage our channels. I don't know if you know that.
He says
I've experienced it.
I kind of like the guy.
He's a dick. Yeah, no, Culture Casino. Hey, everybody, welcome to Saturday night's The Dump Live. Yeah, we don't have Nerdrotic on, so welcome.
We don't
I mean, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, whatever. You should be on like every week. This is a good show.
I thought you were doing a show with him. I thought you were doing a review show with him soon.
Yeah, we're supposed to be.
You're actually going to be doing a steady program with him.
we
Listen. I mean, I don't know if that's an actual thing that's going to happen. I just keep telling people live that when House of the Dragon comes on, he's going to have me on his channel every Sunday so that he feels like he has to, you know, because he's like, oh, I'm Gary. I'm the nice guy. You know what I mean?
Into it.
That's what I plan.
And I'm going to ride his coattails. I'm going to ride his coattail right over to that channel.
Right now. So
I'm going to be right there.
That's the way to do it.
Well, let's ask Matt. Matt, how many subscribers have you been on with Gary from Nerdrotic twice now?
Oh man,
Can you count them?
Upwards of 2.
Upwards of 2. Wow,
yeah,
you are
easily.
You're killing it. You are killing it.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom.
What'd I do?
You're just here and beautiful.
Beautiful man.
And we love you.
Beautiful bald man.
So everybody, welcome my special guest every week, Tom from Midnight's Edge.
Where? I like that guy.
Yeah, he's a hottie. He's a hottie.
His autograph.
He does better than you, Scott.
Well, he really does. Hold on.
Yeah. Now, what is it? Is it 5,000 subs that you're doing the Picard? Is that what we agreed?
I said 5,000 subs. I'm growing this all in Picard style.
Damn right.
Like I'm getting the gold shirt. I might even do a red shirt just because I know I'll die. Yeah, look at it. Look at that head. Hold on. This head.
Look, he even trims
my head.
You know, and yours is like wild.
I don't have a chin, so I use hair to make my chin look more masculine.
We all have one foot in the grave. Act accordingly. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so we said hi to Mads.
Wait, real quick before you're done with my stuff. By the way, I think actually it is very important that I am on our review thing of House of Dragons or whatever. Mm-hmm. Because unlike you, I didn't waste my time reading the books if they're going to be made into a show. So
I fucking hate him.
Wow.
Okay, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I would come from a place of just knowing what they're showing rather than like, oh, it wasn't like this in the book.
Oh, I am that guy too.
Yeah,
I am so that guy. Like,
nice
in the book he said the.
Yeah, right.
I'm happy that I'm not the only one Scott treats like shit.
Well, let's talk about shit. Walton's here.
The Saturday Sporking steamer all over your chest and ready to dump entertainments on.
Thank you. And my favorite guest tonight, Mr. Grant Gregory.
That's me.
You're not even a guest anymore. You're a panelist.
I'm a panelist. All right. I think
with
that's
a real
great.
chin.
I mean, technically,
I got
he
somewhat
is
of a chin, but
yeah.
Happy to be here and talk some stuff and shit on some people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We are talking about shootings. Mr. Tickle Trunk for a Canadian $5. Oh my God, that's freaky. God.
Is that Shatner?
Whose face is that? Mr. Tickle Trunk for $5 says, the last time I saw an intro this bad, I was on Steven's channel.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. We've upped our production value. We don't hire Culture Casino to do anything over on my channel.
Yeah, Culture Casino does screw things up.
Yeah.
Eagle Fang for Life is here. We got Brent Sanders up in the house. We have Katina Martin is new to the channel, so thank you for being here. This Islington girl is up here. Larry. Oh, someone send ETEP the link. I meant to send him that. Tommy is in the chat. We got JP0D, or is that OD? I hope you're not ODing, bro. Yeah, Mr. Dragon's here. We had some other people. Darren, like my father before me's here. I hope your health is good, my friend. You are a good dude, and I like you. STX Robster is here. We also had, I saw Tina is up in here. Grumpy Old Ninja is here. We have a lot of friends. Superman 82 is here. I like that. That is great. Boba Yogi. Wait a minute. Why does that feel like it's the bad guy or the boogeyman from?
You mean Baba Yaga?
Oh, Baba Yaga. That's it. Baba Yaga. Is that what it is? No, that's Boba Yogi. I like that though. Okay. And there's other people up in the house. If I missed you, please don't leave. And we got the great Makini draws up in here, guys. Make sure you check out Makini's channel. He is working to 1,000. We got Vinny to 1,000 on Steven's last stream, just right before that. So Makini is, Mac is the next one we need to get to 1,000. So let's make sure we get him there. Soul Assassin's here.
If you get to 1,000, you might actually win one of the prizes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did get robbed. You guys saw that. I was robbed.
I mean, I up on Pornhub, bald man gets screwed in front of millions.
I really did. I got screwed, dude.
Ashley won a prize. She has like 6 subscribers, man. What are you doing?
No. If you watch Makini's live stream, it literally stopped. The needle stopped on my name, and then all of a sudden something kind of goes blurry, and then it's like, Steph, my nerdy home. Like... Okay, pretty girl wins the freaking
they were
picture.
Talking about that on the Full Aussie this morning.
Yeah, were they? Well, I got robbed.
They were saying, it was glitchy.
What's up, ETEP? Wanna cooey?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
How you doing, my friend?
I'm excellent, sir. I'm excellent.
Wow.
Let them know where you're at, bro, because we got 31 people watching, more than you usually have. So
yeah, thanks, Dick. Thanks, man. It's all right. It's okay. You can say whatever you want. I'm still prettier. It's all good. No, I'm ETEP Okuyan from the Place to Be Reviews. I review this dumpster fire behind me, and I hate myself for it.
Yeah.
I just reviewed Halloween Kills as Cleveland Brown.
Fucking sucked.
That movie
not your video, the movie.
Was it
so homophobic?
Was it that bad?
It was terrible. I thought it was like I hated it. I did. I'm like, and I wanted to go in like I did.
Wow.
I just
I like the 2018 one. I like the 2018 one. I mean,
I did.
Well, like is a strong word for. I didn't mind it. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I see what you're doing there, Danny McBride. A little different, but all right. Right. And this one, I'm just like, how fucking long is this movie? The pacing was horrible. And, juxtapose that to the pacing in Dune, it's night and day.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Dune was phenomenal.
Scotty, if you keep simping with all those tags on the in your area,
could you see them?
Absolutely. A drunk 3PO, there's Geeks and Gamers, Ryan. Got a Rebellion hat on, and you were drinking a Crowder mug.
Oh yeah, I will simp Crowder to the day I die, dude.
I'm not going to hate on that one.
Yeah. What is going?
Tom's throwing off daddy issue vibes. It's kind of turning me on.
And somehow Tom is a better, more convincing Michael Myers than we got in Halloween Kills already.
So now, could someone tell me, was Michael Myers the patriarchy in this movie? Like, was that what it was about? Like, he was the man. Was that what it was, or what was it?
It was "Evil Dies Tonight" chanted for an hour and a half.
Dies tonight. No, it won't.
Christ.
Shut up. Shut up.
Was it really 2 hours and 42 minutes?
No, it was hour and 45 minutes.
No, it was longer than that because I looked.
It seemed longer, but I think it was an hour and 45 minute runtime.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right.
It was painful. It was. Yeah, I would rather watch The Room on loop for like a day than watch. I watched that movie 4 times to write my review of it.
Ooh. Well, let me make sure people understand this. It isn't just it isn't just Mahler that does Batwoman. The guy below me, ETEP, does a great Batwoman review. I don't know why he does it, but he does.
For us all.
He does, and they're hilarious, dude. I watch them. I don't usually hit like or comment because I'm a dick. But I like him.
Be over the moon now that Ryan Wilder is the CEO of Wayne Tech. So I think that's just brilliant.
Yeah,
I'm so happy about that. It makes perfect sense.
I'm like, okay, so Luke Fox has worked at, like, why not make Mary? She's at least, like, family adjacent. I'm like, but, and she runs
already a billionaire,
and she runs it back out. She's Asian, but that's they're people of color adjacent when the narrative needs them to be people of color. That's what they are. That's
Asian
how they
is basically white.
Well, as far as college admissions go, but we're talking. We're talking the world of Gotham, where 99.99% of the women are lesbians, and every male is either evil, weak, a simp, or a cuck, like Luke Fox. I mean, it's just.
When it comes to college, Asian is like uber white, like it's beyond white.
It's beyond white because they study.
Yeah.
Let me ask. James Hayes asks: has William Shatner ever commented on the Michael Myers mask? Does anybody ever hear? Because I don't think I've ever heard him comment on it or anything about that. Tom, have you ever heard anything?
Thank you, Tom.
No, that was deep.
I agree, Tom. Good. All I know is that George Takei hates the mask.
Yeah.
George hates everything.
Yeah, George hates everything and everybody.
Yeah, he really does, and it's a shame because I loved his. I love Sulu. I love the character.
He's one of those
a shit person.
One of them angry gays, huh?
Yeah.
George Bad Takei.
Well, Larry for $5 says, Walton, how do I get that clip of Fandom Menace at end of Rogue Entertainment? Need it on my phone at my fingertips. Great production, high panel, and Spork.
Thank you very much, Larry. Larry, that was actually put together by John Talks. The speech was one that I did on Friday Night Tights. He really liked it, and then put that video together. It is in my video.
Name dropping like a dick.
Oh, they're my friends.
No, whatever. John Talks, Friday Night Tights, whatever. Curious what people think. What's a better name, J-Pod or J-Pod? I like J-Pod. Pod. Oh my God, what's going on over here? That's a better one. That's a better one. Chucky in the corner. I kind of like that.
About to get him.
I like that. Yeah.
Did anybody watch the new Chucky show? I watched the first episode.
I got meaning to.
I got the second one DVR. I thought the premiere was great. I'm like, I couldn't believe it was a sci-fi show I was watching. I was like, this is really good. Well, the original writer Don Mancini's back on it. Like he did it, so it's like it's pretty good. And honestly, like the marketing leading up there, like the main character, the kid that it focuses on is gay. It works within the context of the story because the character they actually do a good job developing him. So it's there, but it's not like the normal what we're used to seeing in your face stuff to where it's like it takes over and permeates into every part of the story. It's there, but it makes sense with the character.
It's not his entire identity.
Not his entire character.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, you just discouraged me as soon as you said it was on Sci-Fi. I'm like, I'm good.
No, it was good though.
I like a couple sci-fi shows.
Yep. Name them.
Okay, the Expanse, and I used to like a show called Dominion, or was it Dominion? It was based on that movie.
See, now you're just mixing up shit. Like I've been calm. I haven't.
Because they were the movie.
I've got the Freddy glove too.
Dominion was good, dude.
What? Oh, I wasn't listening to you. I was looking at this guy.
All right, we're done with this kid. He's gone. Let's see. We got Bones says, "Let's go, Brandon." They actually banned that song from YouTube. I heard. You can't play it.
Did you see the tweet from the White House about people like Brandon? These are the people that we are helping, and we're doing this for them. Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah.
They're trying to spin it, right? They're trying to. It is smart. They're trying to use the algorithm to promote disinformation.
Well, what they're doing is they're trying to take the heat off of the "Let's Go Brandon" thing,
right? And use it.
Yeah, by appropriating.
They are appropriating.
There was another group of people who used propaganda like this. It did not end well.
That's right.
I'm not saying it.
No, say it.
I didn't know if that was Jamaican or not. Like I was about to
rude boy. Call him
out. Damn it! I was about to do that too, man. And I was about to go. The deal is
Island boy.
Yeah, that's Bad Boys 2.
Island boy. I don't think that was anything, man.
No, that was Bad Boys 2, man. Like when they go in the house with the Jacob. Yep. Who that? Yeah.
Wow, that's good stuff. Did anybody get to catch?
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, right. Did anybody catch Dune?
About a month
Yes.
ago.
Yeah. Small Time asked me what's my favorite larger channel. Oh, you're a dick, Small Time. I just caught what you did there. Nerdrotic Geeks and Gamers or author Stephen Walton. Wow. Next time I say that, you better pay money. So did everybody on the panel see Dune? Oh, actually, he is a channel member. I love you, Small Time. What was your first thoughts of the movie? I know, Tom, we disagreed on. I watched it again, Tom, and I actually dig the. I guess I won't call it a score. The music. It was
music.
Well, see, I found it to be like there was like some Middle Eastern with like a weird like Aboriginal like techno thing, not techno, but industrial thing going on. I enjoyed it. What did you think of the movie and all though?
I loved it. I'll watch it again.
That's
over and over.
But see, that's a beautiful thing to say. What was the last movie like that?
Of the year.
Yeah.
So far, anyway, pending seeing Ghostbusters anyway.
I can go ahead and call that. I think it's going to be better than Ghostbusters. No offense to Ghostbuster people, but like.
Well, I think you're right, Matt. Because Ghostbusters is going to be it's going to be a fun movie, and there's going to be a nostalgia factor. But Dune, it was an epic. They're planning on an epic, and that's the way they shot it.
Yeah.
At least with Dune, you don't have to stare at that kid's face from Stranger Things the whole damn movie. Man,
it is strange. It's from the trailers. I feel like it is Stranger Things. You know what I mean?
They're not showing us the Ghostbusters.
Or like Super 8.
Right. I'll give you that. We're getting a lot of 8s, 9.5, 9.5.
Scary movies.
It would be almost perfect for me if they actually had a score. I think the sounds and everything worked for what it was, but half the time I didn't know if the sounds were well within the world or if they were supposed to be like, and it was a little bit off-putting, especially with times of more of the emotional sort of scenes. And you hear crunching and different noises, and there's a didgeridoo in there.
The didgeridoo, I love that part.
I have a didgeridoo.
Cultural appropriating, come on, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Aborigines love Dune.
Actually, I was going to say I can't wait to hear what Nerd Cookies think. She just popped up in the chat.
Well, she has a review up on her channel. I watched it.
It was
I
good.
haven't had a chance to see it.
I'm not a Dunist.
Or what? What are you?
Dunist? I'm not a Dunist. Dunist or
you're
Dune-alike.
A Dunite?
Yeah.
A
I'm not one of
Dunite.
those. I've never read the book.
What? You're a dyke?
I've never read the book. I've never seen the movie. The other movie with the codpiece. So I went in just like, this is a movie. You know what I mean? And I loved it. A lot more than I thought it would. The pacing was so great because it was a lot longer than Halloween Kills, and it did not feel like it at all.
No.
Like it's such a big difference, between the two with the pacing by itself. The music took me out a couple times.
Yeah.
Music took me out a couple times, but overall it wasn't.
It is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole
Disrespectful.
days,
Turn it off.
Here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Who wants a glory hole, man?
That is a Super Bowl winning owner.
Glory hole.
Yeah.
Super Bowl winning glory hole.
What's up, Culture?
Hi. Just wanted to stop by and say you can't blame me for not having credits tonight.
Okay.
You have credits now.
They're in there?
Yeah.
Or do I have to actually do something?
No, you don't have to do anything. I took care of it all. I am a producer extraordinaire.
Both were awful. We lost people in the chat when he played the intro.
Oh my God! Listen to how loud this is.
That wasn't that one.
That wasn't. Wait a minute. That was
irritating.
weird. What was the other one that I did?
It was the other one with the bucket.
What one? What are you talking about?
Oh no, this one.
Make it stop.
That is so loud.
What do you want me to do?
Turn the volume down. And did you get my commercial without my boogers? God.
Oh, I'm working on that.
No, please don't.
Okay.
Do that. No, can I get a clip of his snot?
How do you get out of this shit?
I still have shirtless Walton, so you booger me. Shirtless Walton is back.
How does
What
Culture get out
the
of
hell
this
has
shit?
this devolved into already?
Sorry, Eats Up. That's my show.
What the
I
hell?
still got more subs than you, so shut up.
This guy's
You
just mad
shirtless
because I'm
wolf for
pretty
like
and
a
I'm
year.
funnier.
Months,
I can't get like a month of Scott's Booger.
Yeah, it's violent. It's like so big. And
you know what?
Jeremy didn't tell me.
You should run that commercial just because that'll make Steven happy.
No, it makes me feel icky. So I sent Nerd Cookies a link. I know she doesn't usually have time on Saturdays, just to hear what she thought of Dune.
Absolutely.
Before you leave Culture, what did you think of Dune?
I've seen not quite half of it yet because timing, and tomorrow's my go see it in the big place thing. So I'm going to say it this way. After I'm done with Lethal Lightning, on my Sunday Culture Review show tomorrow,
what are you doing with Lethal? What are you done with
Lethal Lightning. I was over. By the way, if you didn't watch the Saturday morning cartoon show that is the full Aussie, you missed out a lot. I know all my Australians were there, so thank you. But but Lethal is actually joining me at 4:30 a.m. his time to do the Sunday Culture Review tomorrow. So that's going to be a good time. But no, so as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to go and see it on IMAX, and then I will have a proper review for everyone.
Well, can I ask you a question real quick? But that's my question. Yeah. I am a father of 3 with a baby that's crying. I have to watch it on HBO Max. Okay. How much does that hurt the... Not because numbers now are always dollars. I want to know how big is this movie's release? Because I know a lot of people that watched it on HBO Max. Will they be able to convert that into dollars, or at least to tell us this is the biggest movie watched this year?
Well, okay. So as Tom will tell you, because Tom's a genius and I love him, he will tell you that for HBO Max, for Warner themselves, they are looking at what it does on HBO Max as much as they are looking at the dollars that it's going to make in the theaters to decide if they're going to give us the second film. So it's really important that it does well both places. I think that for HBO Max, it might translate into subscribers, but to be honest with you, I have never seen any data that quantifies that. Right, there isn't, and I've been playing around with a lot more, data behind the scenes now, and I've been monitoring, Samba and the Roku stuff and everything, and I don't see, I don't see it being quantified in a way that is even measurable. Maybe they're seeing something I'm not.
Well, we'll go by how many views it has, and then they'll probably look to see how many people are unique new users when they view it compared to those that are already users, and then look at it as retention wise. And basically the movie's already made like $130 million almost outside the US.
Yeah.
It's made already almost $20 million in the US.
39 now.
Yeah, it's already to 40. Yeah,
I was going to say, they were saying earlier, their projections are way the fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, they thought it was going to get softer than I thought it was.
Well, it's because it did have a soft Thursday night for some reason.
It did.
And I don't know if people were just kind of waiting to see what the word of mouth was going to be on it or what, but like last night, it did very, very well.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going to be good through the weekend, I think, Tom, and that's honestly what I believe. But I do.
Well, I did bring up to people on Thursday night that since it's almost twice as long as shit like Venom, that's probably why they couldn't get as many showings in as well.
Right. Oh, that's true. I didn't think of that.
Three showings to the maybe 1 or 2 showings you can get a Dune in. So
yeah, and that's the problem. It's the same problem that it's going to suffer with. I mean, to be honest with you, that's why Halloween Kills was beating Bonds. Beating the
it helped.
Beating the brakes off of Bonds, right? That's a Yellow Flash terminology now. So because
why don't you come find out?
Hey, I'd love to.
He'll beat the brakes off you.
He'll beat the brakes off you. I know.
Prof Anthrax, he's not meaty enough yet, so I just got to wait on that. Thank you though for asking.
I do have to. I do have to dip out. You guys pay attention to Mad Martigan. He's smart. So just letting you know that.
You just told people to do that. That's like telling them to play with a loaded gun. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I did not tell them. I did not tell them to go
inappropriate.
Go and hang out on Rush.
Too soon, Culture.
Scotty, you've got. That wasn't me. I just want to say this. Check out Mad Martigan, Mr. Grant Gregory, everybody on this panel. They deserve your support, especially Tom, who sent me a dick pic today, and I just want to say
I did. I sent him a fucking dick pic today.
That's awesome.
And I appreciate it
in all its glory.
I'm a little jealous.
But mostly, I just love everybody, and you guys know that. I'm off to see the Blizzard. I love you all.
Peace. All right, love you, man. Okay, that's me. blown up. I'm sorry. So let's go on with this one. Mr. Grant Gregory, what did you think? What was your first impressions of Dune?
I'm jealous that I didn't get a chance to be able to see it on the big screen, because I definitely think it's something that would benefit from it. I liked everything. What I liked most about it is I believe the characters and their motivation. For the first time in a movie for a long time, I actually got where everyone was coming from. Duncan's my favorite character now, it's without a doubt. So I loved everything about it except the score. The score was, if they just had some even small orchestral, something in there that, you know, because we're not used to that sort of style, it was so jarring.
But you never heard Zimmerman before?
Yeah, but I mean, the problem is he's just going into the roar and the noises versus being an actual, you know, a proper composer. He's leaning into the quick. Yeah, but he was always a fantastic musician and composer. Where this is not melodic. There's no melody to half the stuff. And that was a problem that
okay, so I disagree, but I understand what you mean. Elaine, I don't know what, hello, Elaine from Nerd Cookies. Hello. Do you agree the off-putting of...
I was not warned we were going to have women on this stream.
Well, put your pants back on. My question is this, before you go into what you felt about the movie, I want to know what you thought about the musical score, because it was like I don't know, for me it was off-putting, but I loved it. I loved what's that thing called again?
Didgeridoo.
Yeah, but it was like that, but it had more of like a deep bass sound to it. So what do you think, Elaine?
And it is a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it was.
You need to delete this.
And so having said that...
this is hers.
He just wants a hole.
That's your introduction.
Great. I forgot what the question was. Oh, the score.
Okay, the score. The score.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. Very different than anything Hans Zimmer has done before, I think, and it's very unusual. I don't think it's something it's not an easy listen as far as like sitting down and like listening to a soundtrack. But it's very much a part of the story. That's what it made me feel like, that it was an element of the universe. And I think at times where, it was kind of unsettling, was intentional. And I think at those times it fit the tone, I guess, and the strangeness and the mysteriousness of it. So while it's very, just odd, I think it fits with just this strange universe. But that's just me.
I think it fits as well. I just wasn't a fan of it. I agree that it works within the world, but it was just hard because sometimes I wasn't sure what I was hearing, if it was real or if it was, I know it was.
Yeah, that's my problem.
For a movie as good as what it was, having something like that that takes you out is really jarring.
The sound effects, like it mixed too much with that. Like I half time couldn't tell, and I've been seeing more people complain about it drowning out the voices, which
I didn't catch that.
That's probably more to do with.
I got more of like the reverb, like especially in the theater, the reverb kind of was with the noise just being a little loud. I think with like the ships were coming out of the sea on Caladan, I think that was one of the moments where like, what's happening?
Oh, really? It was like that in the theater because. Yeah. In my earbuds, it was cool. Like it was.
But it was better on at home seeing it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Is I don't think it has so much to do with the movie itself. I think it has more to do with where the theater you're seeing it in. Yeah. But that being said, like was your question earlier, Scott. Was should I watch this at home or whatever? Only if you have a good sound system, I would say, because at least the first time anyway, because. Yeah, seeing the movie, half the experience is the sound, and I feel bad for those who have said they've had a bad sound experience because I don't feel like it's the movie necessarily. Although I would have preferred there be at least some sort of actual score underneath there at some parts because there's some very emotional scenes that really could have benefited from it. Because I think that's, at least in my opinion, why a lot of people are like, "Oh, it had no soul, it had no heart." I'm like. Really? It had more.
I haven't heard that.
The other ones, it just wasn't underscored with any music or any of the normal things that we're used to having. And, Zimmer said his whole inspiration was when he went to see Star Wars, he didn't understand why it was a traditional score and it should have been all this alien stuff. It's like, there's a reason for that, Zimmerman.
Right.
It was because that was one of the things that helped ground Star Wars, was because George knew you were going to be getting into this fantasy world where nobody knew what the hell was going on. Having a score like that helped ground it in reality and help tell you how you're supposed to feel. And I'm not saying that the score should have manipulated the audience, but there's at least 2 or 3 key scenes that I could think of that really could have benefited from some kind of theme, or even if you just gave like Paul some kind of theme. I mean, and especially considering the Lynch Dune is so tied with the soundtrack, right? Like, it was such an amazing soundtrack by Toto. So I know they could never beat that, but you got to come up with something to at least kind of
I think Zimmerman
weight.
Yeah, I think Zimmerman may have not been the best choice because it's very Zimmerman-like, which is
I
not
agree.
always a good
They
thing.
should have went with like Danny Elfman or the guy.
Elfman would have been nice.
Who scored like Andre says the guy who scored First Man. I can't think of his name, but like because at least Elfman, he could have gave you something that was both alien but at the same time traditional, right?
I got to say I enjoyed it was unsettling at times, but the scenes were unsettling. For the most part, everything in this movie to me, and I don't know if people agree, was there was no comfort in this movie. Everything was like very tense. I mean, think about it. You just took away a planet from one of the most aggressive dukes out there, the Baron, and you give it to one of his biggest enemies. I mean, the Emperor, like, that's what he wants. He wants this tension. And I feel like the musical score gave me that throughout the whole movie. Even when there was moments of calm, you still felt tension throughout this whole movie. I got to say, this is the first movie in a very long time, like since Fellowship, I think I wrote before, Fellowship of the Ring, that I'm like, all right, I'm ready for a part 2 right now. I want to keep watching this. So
I was a little worried at the beginning because they kept popping up all these planet names, and again, I'm not a Dune-aronymist. I'm not a Dune-aronymist, so like I don't. Neither one of those things, and like I don't know all these planets and people. So I was like, oh man, they're about to drop a lot of knowledge on me that I am not ready to take. But no, they really like
gave it to you well.
Eased people, eased people in. Yeah, absolutely.
I could have used a little bit more exposition, actually, just on a couple little, well, maybe not little things, but
like what? Like what? Because I kind of feel that way too.
Now, Elaine, did you ever read the script I sent you or no?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was curious.
It's been a while since I've read it.
Yeah, because Andre said a few things, like there was a lot of expository scenes that got cut out. So I was curious if you remembered any of those.
Yeah, and I don't mean like they should. I think they did a really good job at like making it digestible and having the little tidbits when necessary, the information in there. I just think a little bit more could have serviced, better. I think the Butlerian Jihad was important to know why mentats are necessary, and they really didn't do anything they didn't touch mentats at all, really. And I'm sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, can you say that in English though again? What's mentats again?
Like Toofer, Howat, and Piter de Vries, the Harkonnen twisted mentat. They were very diminished, but also Paul has mentat training.
Yeah, they're basically like human computers since they're not allowed to have.
Yeah, so they don't have like these high-tech technology, which is why it feels like medieval, but also set in this futuristic time.
Because wasn't there, you explained in one of your videos that taught me this, there was a war many years ago where computers like were sentient and they beat them, and that's why they can no longer have like AI versions of
like a Terminator.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well,
but I didn't
it's a little more convoluted than that. They treated the machines like slaves, basically. So so the machines revolted, and it became this huge like. Yeah.
As far as like that's kind of like Brian Herbert's like edition. It was more like a philosophical war. It's like man was starting to be replaced by machines, by their own. Man was using machines to enslave other men, and they were starting to have machines do everything for them. So the human race was being like they were devolving, and they were starting to think like machines. So it's kind of more of like Frank Herbert doesn't really like touch on it and a lot of detail, which is very unusual because it's such it's kind of a common thing in science fiction, which is why one of the things why I like this universe so much is that that's kind of a background foundation for the story.
Right. Well, that's another thing too. Go ahead. Sorry, Lee.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Sometimes I just go off on a tangent.
No, that's fine. Like, because people actually
rather have you talk than the guy next to you.
Well, like, because like another misconception is like, because from the original Lynch Dune, they fucked up the years. Like, this is actually like 20,000 years in our future. Not
they don't say the term AG, so it's 10,191 in the film, but they needed to tack on the AG, which was
after the guild.
Yeah. So when the Spacing Guild started to have their monopoly on interstellar space travel, that's when the Imperial calendar was based on. So it's 10,191 years after that event. So it's 20,000 years technically in our future.
Yes. Gotcha. Listen, real quick, can we say hi to George? George is here.
Hello.
Hello, George, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Let me teach you how to say hi to George.
George!
Tom,
what did you, George? What did you think of Dune?
I loved it, except for two things.
Okay, what were they?
Soundtrack. I hated the soundtrack.
I loved it.
See, I didn't. I like the original Dune. What I did was I went and I put the soundtrack on my phone and muted it, and I would listen to the Dune soundtrack, the Lynch one, and watch that. I was like, now it's an epic. I think it was missing that, and I didn't like Zendaya. She's just like a heat sink. I talked about this.
Yeah, you said this last night. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to respond because there was 27 people on that panel. But what I was going to say was like, she didn't bother me at all because she played no part in what was happening. She was there.
The trailer's more than she was the movie.
Yeah.
What I meant was is that as a heat sink, when she showed up in the little time that she did, it's I just don't get any magnetism from her. I don't get any presence.
Oh, of course not.
Well,
I do love how she George, I do like how she calls him little boy.
Yeah.
Like, you're like 4, kid, and you're calling him little boy. Like,
but and Batista, I'm not a big fan, but I thought
thank you.
Well.
See, no, I'm sorry. Batista, why is he always heavy breathing, that dude? He's like, why should we not take the planet back?
You do that much. Hey, you do that much. Scott, you do that much juice and that much trend for that long and see how your lungs work after so long, man.
Dude, I'm like lightheaded. Holy shit.
At one point, he could start screaming. He could start screaming out of nowhere, and everyone in the room's like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, everyone reacted like, why are you doing this? I did want to say, like, I loved, I guess he's called the Baron, the bad guy.
Baron Harkonnen.
Dude, that guy I found captivating.
Now, do you know who that is?
Stellan
Skarsgård.
Stellan Skarsgård is phenomenal.
Wait,
he was from Thor. The guy from Thor.
The
Stellar skateboard.
Dude is amazing.
He is. Yeah. Oscar Isaac's, I was surprised. He was really good.
I like Oscar Isaac.
He was the least Oscar Isaacs I've seen him in a film, and I liked it.
I know that's what was amazing. He was another character besides himself. And what else was it? The Mentats. There were no Mentats. I'm like, well, where was it? They cut like a lot out from the first.
So I guess one of the, like with the Baron, like it like as soon as he started floating, I'm like, what's happening? How is he floating? What's up with the? But I didn't need it because I was just into it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know. Elaine said like she wanted more exposition, but like even though like that shit was cuckoo bananas, I was like, okay, well I'm in it though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I think what was difficult for me is I really had to separate Lynch's film out of my head, and that took me some time which is a benefit to you because you want to see this first and then the Lynch film. If for people who go, I want some more Dune. Because again, from the soundtrack and the acting, it's totally different styles. Like again, Jürgen Prochnow in the first one, who played Leto, the father. Kyle MacLachlan. Then you have Max von Sydow. I mean, these were powerhouse talents. And these are new. Not saying that they're bad. They just don't have that same gravity, same gravitas. So it's much different. But I love this film.
I was disappointed by the lack of cod pieces in this one. I will admit that.
It was weird seeing Gurney Halleck go from Patrick Stewart to Josh Brolin. That was a stark contrast in just persona.
No Warpug.
No,
I will say this. I don't know if Elaine agrees with me or not, but I think at least you're kind of hinting at this earlier. Like Yui, like he really did get kind of the shaft in this version.
Yeah, that was another thing too, and it's. I touch on it in my review too, if anyone wants to check that out. That the traitor subplot, I really wish was in there.
Right.
It may be explained later, but like, yeah, it really should have been expressed what the hell it was all about.
I wanted to have like some mystery and some tension within the house about who could the traitor be.
Right.
And it's a really it's a very interesting point in the novel where you kind of already know certain things, but to see how the characters react and to see how they try to figure things out, and it's really just you're just studying what they're doing. You already know the crucial information, which is so interesting that Frank Herbert chose to divulge these crucial details, but it wasn't like a whodunit. It was really just a study of their, human traits basically, and just looking at the characters.
In this version, it seemed like a big afterthought, and then like in the original, that's one where I would say the Lynch one got it right.
Yes,
who did a very good job at setting that up, because you thought what's her face was actually the traitor, and it turns out she wasn't. She was actually trying to help. I can't remember the actress's name. Short actress. What's her name?
Yeah.
Shadow?
Who are you talking about?
In the original movie.
In the original Lynch movie.
You talking about the Shut Up Mapes? That one?
The little old lady.
The Shut Up Mapes?
I can't think of her real name.
She was in the film with Mel Gibson, his first.
Oh, yeah. She's been in tons of movies, and I can't think of her damn name all of a sudden.
She was in Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, she even won an Oscar for playing a guy. But anyway, yeah, like that is all done very well in the original compared to this one. Yeah.
And the miniseries too, I think, did that.
Can I ask if anybody else got like a weird vibe from the mom and son?
Well, before you answer that, you freak.
I wasn't going to answer it. I'm asking.
Well, no, yeah, you're a freak. Because the Gilkman hasn't seen this yet, so he has a quick thought on Baldwin for $4.99. He is a human and deserves to be treated humane. I think you meant. Yes, he's an asshole, but let's remember to not pass judgment. My opinion. I respect that. He's a dick, though.
He is. I hate the guy, but in this situation, I had some emails. They were like, "Are you going to do your second video on like Baldwin?" I'm like, "I'm not going to."
Yeah,
somebody died. I mean, that guy I can't stand. So to me,
what we're going to talk about, though, we're not talking about the actual shooting. Right. I have an article. It's about after this. We're going to talk about like. There was a lot of people on that set that were about to walk off right before that shooting because of safety and how it was. Oh. So we'll talk about that in a little bit.
That's relevant, yeah.
Mr. Tickle Trunch for $2 Canadian. Thank you, my friend. Says still no Chun-Li. Disappointed.
Still no Chun-Li.
I love it. So yeah,
vibes. It really was.
Did you like it, Scott?
I loved it. I loved it.
Anything you didn't like?
Okay, so David Bautista, I'm not a big fan of. I felt like they could have got someone. He didn't have to be like a jacked, like they went for that jacked like strength, and I understand that. Like, yes, the codpiece Sting wasn't the best, but you could have had a better actor in there.
He didn't bother me.
But pretty much everybody else. Even Timothy, whatever his name is, like they killed. Yeah,
Chalamet.
I always want to say Charlemagne.
See much from the Harkonnens.
Wait, are you thinking
the Harkonnens are redheads? See, they're supposed to have red hair. Like, and they also didn't have Fade Routher. He's skinny. Remember, it's a guy like when the original was played by Sting, but when you read the books, one of the
are they two different people? I thought they were the same character.
No. That's what I was just thinking. Like, Scott, you're completely mixing two characters. Yeah,
am I? Okay, I do that a lot.
Yet. That was the Beast Raban. That's why I was like, who the fuck else are you going to get to play the Beast Raban? Right?
Okay, that's why I was taken back from that because I remember that character being like a smarter.
The guy who played Raban in the original one was the same guy who played Bluto in the Popeye movie and shit.
Okay,
yeah, fucking dude. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Wow, I totally confused that. Great. I sound stupid now. Thanks for everybody watching. 51 people in the chat.
No, I can't remember his name, but I did remember Linda Hunt's name, even though the chat remembered along with me. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Linda Hunt.
Who's Linda Hunt?
She's that little lady who won. Yeah, she was in the original one. Yeah.
She was in a lot of things. Wasn't she
in tons of shit.
From Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah. Wasn't she in some Field of Fire? Oh God,
Killing Fields.
Killing Fields. That's it.
She won an Oscar for playing a guy.
Yeah.
Because I thought she was a dude for the longest time. I really did when I was younger. I didn't know. My mom's like, no,
that's why I kept joking when they were talking about the whole, men shouldn't be playing women and women should be playing men type of thing and getting Oscars for it. I'm like, well, then I guess we better take away Linda Hunt's Oscar, huh?
So yeah, that's awesome. So let me ask a question then. Will Fade be in the movie for the next part? Like, I feel like it's so great.
Introduce him in like some very major way. I wouldn't even be surprised if they get somebody like really famous to play him, like they did with Sting. What do you think, Elaine?
I actually did a video that kind of touches on some more insights. Roger Yuan, the stunt fight coordinator, who's actually in the film as one of the Atreides soldiers, he did an interview a while back. It was really cool because he was developing all of the fighting techniques and training with the actors. So that was really cool to get his insights on their different on their approaches for that and the real world techniques he used. But he's actually potential spoilers. But he is supposed to be in that fight with Fade that we see him with. That's their intention, to have the gladiator scene that introduces Fade, and he is like the Atreides soldier, I think, that will fight him. So that's yeah.
I don't know what any of that means, but I did want to say I actually really appreciated the fight choreography in this. You didn't have the shaky cams. You didn't have Michael Bay having a different cut every 3.6 seconds.
Shaky. Thank God, not shaky cam, dude.
It was very Raid like. You had that still cam. That cam.
It was epic.
Wow, that was.
That still cam and it focused on what was fighting, and they were sufficient in what they were doing, and really plays very
Can I
well.
ask you guys this though? And I understand the Harkonnens, right? I screwed that up.
Harkonnen.
Say it how you want.
Harkonnens. When they attack, I was hoping for more of an epic battle scene. Like, you almost get it and then things explode, and I understand they do that for a reason for the next part.
Explode.
Well, because people make it, some people don't. I get that, but I wanted to see Thanos fight a little harder.
Yeah, but there's more story to what I can hear what you're saying, but I think the real treat, or you might say piece of that, was the betrayal. So it focused more on the betrayal, because that's what brought them down. It wasn't even the Harkonnens. It was they weren't prepared. Everything was destroyed. Things were damaged, sabotaged. And then you had Huey, who's sitting there going, I did it for my wife. I mean, in the original, he kind of went nutty with that much more than in this one.
Mr. Tickle Trunk for $2 Canadian says, and Scott told me to tell you guys he's a good guy. Thank you, bro. I'll send you a check.
Elaine, can you explain to me how their shield doesn't work if you hit it fast, but it does slow, but yet when they're fighting, it seems like they are going very fast. And yet they're being
sometimes they're wearing shields and sometimes they're not. So on Arrakis, at this time, they're just the Empire and soldiers are used to wearing shields. So their entire way of warfare has to adapt, because you can't just shoot somebody with a normal projectile weapon, because it's too fast, basically. So a slow speed projectile will penetrate the shield. So all of they use melee weapons instead. They use those special pistols and dart guns. I can't think of the word. To hit the target, and then it'll slowly make its way through the shield.
I got all that. It was just in the fighting.
But on Arrakis, they can't use shields everywhere, because shields will drive the sandworms crazy. So only at certain locations they're able to use them.
Like in the city.
Yeah, so that's why the Fremen have a special advantage, because they're used to not having shields.
Can I ask about the other shield though? Like the shield wall, did the Doctor drop it? Because
no,
that did nothing.
That's a rock formation that protects it's like
okay.
It's a natural structure, like a mountain, rocky concrete kind of thing.
All right, because I feel like they didn't. I'm sorry, George, but I feel like they didn't explain certain things enough, like spice. Like Mr. Tickle Trunk saying here, I know what spice is, but I feel like they didn't flush it out enough. Like they're just like, space travel's really important with it, but why?
Well, I
Why?
think we'll catch on a lot more of that in the sequel. Probably.
That's what
I
he's
think
saying.
they said though that it's
enough for
needed
me.
for navigation of
Yeah,
their.
Yeah.
But of the
really
stars.
short. It was really short. In the first one, and again, I stopped calling. In the Lynch version, they actually show you the scenes when they leave Caladan and go to Arrakis. They show the folding of the space, the importance of it. And I was waiting for that scene. It looked like, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, Tom or Lane, I saw at least
Scott.
9 shots. Scott, yeah.
I don't know.
I saw 9 shots that almost seemed to be exactly what they did in the Lynch film.
Actually, some things reminded me of
So my complaint about the fighting was that when like Jason Momoa is fighting, in his melee weapons, it seemed like sometimes he's like slowly going through the shield, but other times when they're just swinging swords and stuff, they were still killing people. I didn't see a consistency there with.
Yeah, I think at some point their shields were compromised, but I have to go through it again to.
Yeah, no,
they switch it up. You know that, Matt. They switch it. They talked about that where he goes, you have to fight fast so the shield protects you, and then it's the slow blade. That's why he kept saying it's the slow blade.
Slow blade.
Yeah, I got that, but they're swinging fast as shit, and they're still
when the shield turned red, it's like they'd swing fast and stop and do it. That's the whole.
That's
thing.
it, right there.
It's a feint. It's to trick the guys. Like, no.
I get
if you watch Jason
Jason
Momoa fight, he would hit the guy quick and then slowly push it in and cut the guy's throat.
At times, yes.
Yeah, most times.
Well, as far as
you know what, I'm gonna break that down.
As far as the exposition thing, you guys got to remember with the Lynch movie, he was doing one movie all at once, right? He had to pack all that shit into one movie. I think here they're setting us up for a lot of stuff that I think Denny knew what he was doing as far as this is just to introduce the characters and kind of the whole concept of what's going on. Because then in the next part, we're going to see Paul is supposed to do a time jump, and he'll have been exposed to the spice longer. So he'll probably get into the effects of the spice.
Oh, do you think it'll be a time jump?
Oh, they're supposed to be. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
3 years since they're going to start filming
and then,
or something I heard.
Oh, really?
Okay. I don't know if that's true or not. So
I think they should have announced the sequel already. Especially now when it's out. I mean, wouldn't that boost ticket sales to go? Hey, it's coming out. We're going to have it ready. I've been hearing a lot of people say, "Why should I go?"
They're being very coy about it.
I know, but a lot of people. I had some family members, friends of family. I'm like, "You gonna go see Dune?" They're like, "No, not until I know if there's a sequel. Why am I gonna waste my money going to see it?" And then all of a sudden, it leaves it on a cliffhanger because the media keeps saying it leaves it off a cliffhanger.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll just.
No.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say it ends more. I wouldn't say more of a cliffhanger. I would say it's more like it rushes a little bit towards the end, but I wouldn't say cliffhangery as we're used to. It's more like I think the ending was a little bit rushed.
Okay.
But it kind of reminded me. I kind of got the feeling of Empire Strikes Back. I think it's like the feeling that I got when they're licking their wounds and they, Han is out there. They just went through something, but there's also hope in the future. There's kind of where things are gonna head. So that's the feeling I got more from it. So if I was expecting just an abrupt cliffhanger thing, but it wasn't as bad as I was alluded to.
I actually from the very beginning, as soon as it said Dune, when the title came up with part 1, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it actually already got me kind of all right, I'm kind of hyped for it,
Well, I actually, when I first saw the thing says part 1, I'm like, will they break this movie to different parts?
I thought that too. Yeah, I was like, kind of in the back of my head, I'm like, man, they're about to Zack Snyder this thing with 8 different parts.
Yeah, everybody's saying that there was a shield over the city, but it was taken down by the doctor.
Yes, it was.
Well, in the original one, there was.
Okay.
There's a natural formation with the shield, though, the natural rocks, protect from storms and sand, storms and sandworms. But the shield, they're in the area where they could have it on, and the sandworms won't attack them.
Yeah, Etep, what did you think?
I dug it. I like I really like Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen.
Awesome.
It was such a stark contrast to the Lynch version, which I just watched probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago when I signed up for HBO Max. Right. And like I said, I'd watch this at home out last night. I'm going to go to the theater next week and see it when because it'll be playing right down the road from my house. I dug it though. I didn't have a problem with Batista as Beast Raban. I thought he fit that role perfect. He does. He's a big grunt, you know, and that worked for him. Yeah. Oscar Isaac, this really showed his chops. You know, he was good. He was solid. And Timothy Chalamet, like any reservations I had, because I didn't really know much about him going in.
Who's that?
You know, he played Paul Atreides.
Little Women.
Oh, okay.
I mean Paul Atreides.
I didn't know his name.
Yeah. He was great. I had reservations about him too. I was like, this guy cannot. And then I was like, wow, I was wrong.
I was looking at him and like, okay, so it's, you know, looking at Kyle MacLachlan in the '84 with the fight scenes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's wonky, you know, comparatively speaking, but Chalamet, you know, the choreography and everything looked good. His fighting style looked believable for his body type as compared to the opponent he was fighting. So
quick.
It didn't very quick moving. Relied on the speed. It wasn't like he was just overpowering him. It's like, no, he worked to his strengths, and the choreography played to that well. I enjoyed that part of it.
Oh, nice.
They took time to establish his ability when it comes to fighting from very early on in the movie. Even the whole, like, I knew it was you from the sound of your footsteps.
Yeah, right. And then he says, "Oh, you finally found it," when he actually got the knife to his throat. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I want to say I really liked the scene where he's in with the head of the Bene Gesserit when she the hand in the boxing, because they took that, that was like almost ripped right out of Lynch's, and I did really like that scene. I thought it translated well in this version too, so it was good. And Rebecca Ferguson was solid too.
She was, and I did not get any mommy son thing.
No,
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, that's just
too
mad.
close in age, man.
No,
they're like 10 years apart.
You spend too much time on the hub, bro.
you know.
I was waiting on her to say, like, "Oh,
stepmother,
stepson." I'm stuck here in the sand.
No, it was their dynamic worked really well.
Yeah. Stuck in the sand.
My head's in the sand. Pull me out. What is that? You sick fuck. I have seen those too, though. Mr. Tickletrunk for Canadian $5. The idea is that Duncan is such a good fighter. He knows exactly how much to slow down to get through a shield, when to go fast to push people around. And he showed that. I have to say, sometimes I am not the biggest bro Momoa fan, because he's always like, my man, but he was really good in this movie.
He was.
It was a little difficult. As soon as he made fun of that kid, as soon as he was like, "Oh, you gained muscle?" No.
Well, that was my issue. Like, too, is just he was too much. Like, of all the people that like stuck out as like the person they are, to me was him. Right? Like,
he was close to his cell. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is he's just one of those actors. When he walks in on the scene, it's like, whether he's saying it or not, I just hear it in my head is like badass or my man.
Or my man. Exactly.
It's like he can't get away from that. It's like he's not even saying it, but I just hear it in my head. And it's just like,
I get that.
That's the presence he has. That's
exactly.
So how much? Go ahead. Yep.
He reminded me more of Ronan from when he was on Stargate Atlantis than he did in any other role. Even though he still has the same sort of persona, but I felt this was more different than some of his other stuff, and I actually liked it. As I said, he's now my favorite character.
Oh yeah, he's great as Duncan. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to see him come back.
Yeah, we'll see if they do that. They have to, right?
They have to in the books. Yeah,
that was my favorite.
He lives, dies, lives.
That
dies.
scene.
Is everyone okay?
Everybody okay?
Sorry, I dropped some stuff.
Okay, you're allowed to.
Yeah,
I thought it was my cat. I thought he was getting up on my desk.
I just dropped my cat.
You killed my cat, yeah.
I had to check. But no, Duncan Idaho is my favorite character.
Oh,
and he's one of the standout ones, really. But I think they did so well, because he has a relatively minor role in comparison to the major characters, obviously. But his part in the story is pretty significant. His contribution is very significant, and I feel like it was always diminished, or like his parts given to other characters to develop them more in the previous adaptations. And I get that, but he was really done justice in which is what really impressed me. He was that loyal knight, and
Paladin. He was a perfect paladin.
I cried. I was so surprised that they were able to invoke such a strong emotional reaction from me, because when you're so familiar with the story, I didn't think that I would be, that would impress me so much, that I would be so caught up in the story that I already knew what was going to happen. But the way they did it was, the way his role was just very well done. I was so emotionally invested. I was so surprised by that fact on several occasions. The tent scene being one of them, the father-son moment with Leto and Paul on Caladan.
I like that one too. Yeah,
they just swept me up in this story. I was completely immersed.
I really did love that scene with Oscar Isaac on Caladan or whatever. Like when he's talking about I wanted to be a pilot, I didn't want to do this either. And he just gives a little speech of, leadership, like being a leader, it finds you, you don't find it or whatever.
That was one of the dopest lines of the whole movie. Yeah.
And I know I butchered it too, but you get it.
Yeah, you totally did.
Yeah. I thought everybody in this movie did an excellent job. Like the leader of the Freedmen, I don't know what you call them.
Fremen.
Okay, sure. Yeah, the dude that spit on the floor.
Javier Bardem.
I loved him.
Yeah.
I thought he was so charismatic. Like whenever he's on scene, like on camera, like he gets you're just drawn to him. Just like his mannerisms and the way like he interacts with everyone. It's just,
meow. Could I actually say that Javier? I think that was the best role I've seen him in.
Who was it?
Javier Bardem.
Bardem.
I know that name.
Yeah,
man, he was good in No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Oh, that was him.
I liked him in that movie. I think he's better in this.
I didn't recognize so many people in this.
Toxic Man Flu. Let me for $50 freaking. Thank you, brother. Is that too loud? He said, been driving home and couldn't chat, but Scott, for the love of God, pot. I think he meant put. Pot, I like though. Down your mic. I am listening to Tom lay down some truth on the movie, and then here comes Sporking louder than Joe Biden fart at a staged CNN town hall. So I turned it down a little bit, but you know what? It's my show. But for $50, I'll listen to you. I love you, man. Thank you for supporting the channel.
That wasn't a fart, by the way.
What's up, Red Gaze? What's up, Red Gaze?
How's it going?
How did you like Dune?
Dune, I got to be completely honest. I've been so dead tired lately. I tried to watch it last night and I conked out about halfway through.
Get out.
Yeah.
That's why I demoted you, Red. That's why I demoted you.
The music put you to sleep?
You could have faked it.
The music certainly didn't help. I can say that much.
Yeah,
I mean, from what I saw so far, I was liking it. So I'll let you know because I plan on checking it out again tomorrow.
Nice. Wait. Now, Richie Dupe, I like what he says here. Marlon Brando-esque Baron. I do like that.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Dr.
really
Monroe,
good.
Apocalypse
Marlon
Now.
Brando.
Yeah, definitely. Apocalypse Now is probably closer. But my question is this. He had another statement, and I just don't see where it is. I think it was him that put it. How much money does this have to make? Because it is an epic, big production. How much money does it have to make to get a 2 and a 3? Because I know people love it, the critics love it, the fans love it, but Tom or Elaine, what do you think we need to see from box office to guarantee we'll get a 2 and 3?
Well, it's just it's gotta make the money. Make the money, then you can make the movie.
Well, it's already it made a
deal that no one can refuse.
Sorry, they brought up Brando.
Please, Lane, save us.
I was just gonna say that they already made $130 million before it was brought to U.S. and China and these other markets, so that was a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was $160 million was their production budget, but you factor in marketing, so. I think it'll be close to Godzilla versus Kong is my estimation, which I think they'll at least make a profit, which is probably one of the few films I think that will from this day and date release. I don't know if any of the other films that they've done besides Godzilla versus Kong made a profit, but this might, even if it's a small profit, I think. But I think the fact that critics and audiences obviously are united in the positive reception, and they had such a great cast too. I think Dune is such a niche thing. I think they just wanted to see if audiences would like it, would be interested in. The potential for a sequel, I think, could possibly reach $1 billion. Maybe I'm being too optimistic in that sense, but it depends on when they release it and how the current climate is. But I think everyone just wants the sequel, so I think that's what they.
Well, think about it. It's the first film that has no agenda in it, and it doesn't have any of that. So it's free of politics, where you have pure escapism. And this time, during any of the press junkets, none of the actors shit on the fans.
Yeah, that's true. And George, you could even put it like this: it had politics, but it was politic free. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, it was political intrigue throughout the whole movie, but they weren't telling you this group is
They weren't hitting you with that a hammer.
Right. They weren't telling you in reality we're trying to say this group is the toxic right.
Jason
and this is
the pimp. He pimped out the movie, and now we're not gonna get a part 2 because he sacrificed my boy.
By the way, this was great. It was a welcome surprise because of all the talk leading up to Dune from the director and from other people talking about all the political aspects that we see in, I don't know, everything. But it was like I went in expecting it to see it. I'm like, I just didn't. You know, I was able to enjoy the movie as a movie without any of those hangups that like, come on.
Yeah, because the mom did say something on the press junket. I'm forgetting exactly. She was saying it was like a patriarch against the patriarchy.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oscar Isaac did actually say that it had anti-capitalist tones to it at one point too.
I can see that coming from his perspective to a point, but like, no, in all seriousness, I think Elaine's right. Besides that, we've heard like the reported budget was 165, but Ann Sarnoff said it was only 130.
Okay.
In the interview that everybody keeps quoting, saying, "Oh, but she said there's going to be a sequel." It's like, no, she said she's not making any big announcements yet. It is on the table. It is in pre-production, but it hasn't gotten a green light yet. Pretty much.
I'd be shocked.
And again, I really feel like, and they even said it in this interview, which is basically what Andre and I'd been hearing, was since they plopped down $100 million check to Legendary for it, it matters more now to them what it does for HBO Max than anything else. So the sequel is going to depend more on that. Now, the other side of it, though, it is pretty much made its money back. Even if it was 160 million, it's going to do well enough that it will just barely eke by with a profit. So, and the fact that it's going to open around the same region as Godzilla vs. Kong, like Elaine just said, says a lot.
Yeah.
And that means it could have been potentially like $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
Which means I was right. Fuck all the people who said nobody was going to be interested in this movie. But like, yeah, because I was kind of scared at first. I saw Thursday night was only 5 million. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
But then I saw that yesterday was only 17 or whatever. So I'm like, okay, it was because they only had so many showings, probably.
Right.
But yeah. Because I've heard people like constantly saying, I can't get a ticket. It's sold out. I can't get in until Sunday. I can't get in until Saturday, you know? So I'm like, people have got to be buying tickets for it at least. So
yeah. Well, we got the Islington girl said, "Oh my God, guys, was Duke Leto a good dad? We broke a trope." And J-Pop, this was like the best moment of a dad moment in the movie when he said, "A great man doesn't seek to lead, he is called to it, and he answers. And if your answer is no, you'll still be the only thing I ever needed you to be, my son." Beautiful. I got chills when he said that. Yep. I got chills. Yeah. I'm like, holy shit, we got a good dad, and he's gonna die. I don't care.
Oscar Isaac is a great actor, man. Like, I know a lot of people don't like Inside Llewyn Davis, but like, the music is fantastic. He's an amazing artist. Like the soundtrack for that movie, so good. Yeah, I think he's a great actor, and it sucks that some of my favorite people may not be in the second one, and that's disappointing.
Some might have made it that you didn't think, though.
Who are you saying is not going to be in it?
Well, I don't want to say anything.
Oh, go ahead. We're all friends here.
You know, people.
Don't spoil a story that's only 60 years old or nothing.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Talking about like, well, I know people like, well, actually, Duncan, his conscience gets loaded into the 12th version of I don't even know what that means.
He'll come back. Is what it means.
You're stupid.
That's what it means. Is he'll be back. You know,
he's like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Stop that.
I heard what you said about my movie.
God damn it.
Garbage.
So I will say that.
Please go on. No, shut up, everybody. Elaine.
I will say that while I did have things that I wished were in it, like some maybe obviously the little subplots and certain scenes that I wish were in there. I thought it was really interesting that they focused a lot on the core family, the Atreides, the Jessica, Leto, Paul, and Duncan. Like, that was the core that really shined, and the performances really shined. So I feel like that's what the main focus for Denis was, to get that right. So I do appreciate that, and that was probably the most important things to get right. There's just so many details. They fit a lot of details in there. I would love to have, if there's deleted scenes that he shot. I don't know. I know he doesn't want to do the director's
Blu-ray.
cut, but deleted scenes at least I want to see.
He's got to. Come on.
Yeah.
He doesn't do them. He doesn't do them, if I recall. Does he?
Well,
Does he
guess
do a
what?
lot of them?
Think about this though, George. Yeah, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do like post-credit
Director's cut.
scenes. But tell me this: if the production says, "Hey, guess what? We're gonna make a lot of money on these DVDs. You're freaking making it." He's gonna have to.
Or even a second boost to HBO Max as well, like what they did with the
Schneider.
Yeah.
Lusu79 has a good question. How fast will be pivoting the sequel to Zendaya's character?
Well, that was part of the.
This is what I'm worried about. Will the sequel be her teaching him how to be the Messiah instead of him learning the journey himself?
I hope not. I hope they don't go woke.
I feel like they're going to try to address like the normalization of the hetero, like pestilential, like androcentric homogeny, because of the patriarchal oppression of the socio-politically like marginalized.
Well, are we talking about that interview where Denny said something about the sequel was going to be more about Zendaya's character?
Yeah.
Because I think that was misinterpreted. I think because it was from like a translation of a translation, for one. And if anybody who knows the story knows, she is a big part of the story coming up. Like, she is.
Right, but she helps him. It's not someone who's like, I'm your teacher, you're the baby. That's what I think Dad was saying. Is like they're going to.
No, and I don't think they'll do that either. Because if you watch this movie, I think they did a great job with her in a sense that we only got her for 3 scenes technically, if you consider it that.
Yep.
And when, like you said, when she, what was that? Sorry,
it could be that we're focusing more on her than we did this film, so she could be in 5 scenes. Perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. Like considering how long these movies are. No, but I saw the one thing that I picked up on that I really kind of almost made me chuckle was, I know she's not considered the greatest actress in the world, but she sold something to me in this movie that I thought was kind of funny.
What?
Because when she comes up to him and she's like, boy, and talking to him like he's nothing. And then he whoops that dude's ass and kills him.
The look.
Did you see her slide the fuck off that rock like she's about ready to give him some poontang?
Yeah, like she slid off. Like
she was turned the fuck out by that.
Yeah, it was a water slide, like a slipping slide.
Yep. You're right off that rock.
Well, he's also going to know. Part of the prophecy is that he's going to know the Fremen ways as though born to him.
Right.
So with his powers awakening, it's not like he'll need to be. He's already he's shown that he was proficient already in desert survival to a point, at least until the sandworm came. But that was just the beginning of his rise to.
No, but I just felt like she really did a great job of selling that, right? Like,
yeah.
First of all, the whole like who the fuck do you think you are kind of thing, and then next thing it's just like, let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
They did a good job with Paul with the still suit too. When Liet Kynes, I like Sharon Duncan Brewster too. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously it's Max von Sydow before, but with her. It worked. It just seemed, I wasn't taken aback by it. Really,
explain to the guy on the panel who she was, even though she was a major part of this film.
She was she was the. Are you talking about Liet Kynes?
The planetologist.
Yes. He was.
Right, the planetologist.
There you go, buddy.
The governor of change, or what is
she
it?
She was the black woman with the dreads that helped him at the end.
They even refer to Liet as he at one point. Did anybody else catch that?
What
was that, Tom?
They referred to him as a he. At one point.
Was, I think, Denny's thing.
I think they're referring to Duncan.
Are you sure?
I thought it was because I thought it was when they were talking about Liet.
I thought they're talking about Kynes.
When they were inspecting the spice equipment?
No, before they met him.
Yeah.
Or met her, actually. He's the one who walks between
the worlds.
Both
worlds.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what they referred to Liet as.
I thought that was Denny giving like a nod to Sydow.
That went over my head.
Unless it was a mistake.
Yes.
I thought part of it was to throw off
missed
the audience
that.
a little bit,
Oh.
but then it was like to be like a whole like, oh, it's actually a woman kind of thing. But they didn't make a big deal out of it. So
Right.
So I want to
that
ask
was
the
weird.
panel, and I
I
want
know
to ask.
nothing of this planetary and.
She was the black woman that showed them the
I
spice
know.
fields.
The judge of the change.
Judge of the
Her whole side thing, I couldn't tell you. I just know she shows up and like
She was great. Elaine and anybody else on the panel other than Matt at the moment. What did you guys think of the voice go, Elaine?
I don't know. What
I loved it. And actually, I think Villeneuve just released a video, I think, on Vanity Fair. I think he did it where he breaks down the scene with the Gom Jabbar test. And he talks about developing what they wanted the voice to sound like. And so if you want to get a little insight into Hans Zimmer as well and his development of the noises that he used in that scene, it was really fascinating too. Some of the sounds he used was like a bunch of people screaming, and he like condensed it, and that was in the pain box. But yeah, so he said that he didn't want Paul to be like a zombie, like being led across the room. He wanted it to feel like he, like his subconscious took over. Mm-hmm. So it looked like he kind of went to sleep and that he was already there.
Yeah,
so,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I liked how they did that too.
Unconscious for a moment, and then came back.
It also made it distinct from the Lynch version, which I thought was a cool way to do that, and it's really sounded cool. Yeah,
and I did. You know what else I loved about that scene was how he was like, "How dare you use the voice on me?"
Yeah,
like he didn't back down, knowing how
bit.
powerful she was.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
She impressed me more than the Baron.
Yes,
she was like, "Oof!" When the library.
That was Charlotte Rambling, correct?
Yeah.
I got more.
She was more crazy space nun that chick is, but she's scary as shit.
But was that Charlotte Rambling?
Yes, Charlotte Rambling.
Yeah, she was phenomenal.
What were you gonna say right before that, Elaine? You said something. You have more what?
I thought she gave me more malevolent vibes than the Baron.
Yes.
I was surprised by that. But that was just my opinion. But she was just so palpable.
Shit out of me.
So palpable, her presence. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Toxic Man Flu for another 20. Dude, you're a member. Don't worry about it. I'll read your shit, please. But thank you. You're awesome. Back in the day, I was a radio producer. The mic volumes were dials called pots. So, like a potentiometer. I got you now. So turning the pot down on your mic means turn it down. As for it being your channel, good point. And I hope you other balls drops. You're a dick. Yeah, it's a potentiometer. We use those in welding machines too that I fix. So go fuck yourself. I love you though.
But when your balls drop, they make a clang sound, right?
I put in the special dog ones that they make.
Yeah,
now.
you got the fake one, right?
Yeah,
that was nice of them.
You got a prosthetic.
Oh, you got dog balls.
Can I make one complaint of the movie?
Did you get one of Kyle Brenner's nuts?
What?
There's a Tomcats reference for you.
Can I make one complaint about the movie?
Of course.
I did not like you got to walk like them so the worms get like the weird shuffle that they do across the sand. I get why, but it does not look good like cinematically. You know what I mean? Like it just was like, dude, that's some goofy.
It wasn't very rhythmic.
Right. It's not supposed to be rhythmic. That's the whole point. It's not to make the rhythm so that you get that rhythm.
It was a joke. Yeah.
They were doing the Cupid shuffle.
Nothing's easy or pretty about their existence.
Yeah, but it kind of took me out.
That's a good way of putting it.
I'm like,
get into the still suits.
Yeah, I know. Like, oh wow, you won't lose a thimble full of my piss every day.
Quiet and drink your own pee.
I know, and it's your sweat too. Like when they were in the tent, he was like, "Our tears and sweat." I was like, "Oh, that's."
I don't get how the tent was able to absorb it because, like,
it has the same technology. It sucks it out.
I think it's the evaporation in the air.
Yeah,
it's a suck machine, man.
It made it so.
Talking about that, I got to turn off my dehumidifier. I'll be right back. It's like so loud.
Oh, I was wondering what that was.
I thought it was Scott was like broadcasting out of his refrigerator.
I thought that was my headphones.
So who liked the still suits better in this one or the first or in the Lynch one?
I thought they were so similar that they were. Yeah. Really, there was very little differentiate. Like that's one of the things I liked was it was one of the designs that Denny really did kind of borrow from the Lynch version, which is kind of cool because that still suit inspired what they did for it kind of was the basis of what they built the Michael Keaton bat suit on.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so then in turn, it's kind of cool that they used it now, and it's kind of a little bit more sleeker and whatever. But other than that, it's so similar to the original. I love it.
Oh, I got a question, and real quick, guys, Vinny Art, who's a good friend of this channel, we got him to 1K on Walden's previous shitty stream, but what we need to do is actually get him back there because they already scrubbed 25 from him. He's back up to 9 because they suck, dude.
Because he got so many so quick.
A reason.
Yeah, it's because if you get a quick burst,
they think it's
YouTube
fake.
Think it's some kind of
take off people who legitimately had it. The same thing happened with me with RK Outpost when he got to his 75 and we did that bit of push at the end. All of a sudden, I'm now unsubscribed to him.
Yeah. Oh, they'll do it.
The thing is you'll get most of them back.
Yeah,
most of them back. Yeah.
They'll hold them for a while and they'll release them back like they do the views and shit on
But
your
let's
videos.
just blast him past so he can make his money. You know. One other thing was shit. There was something else I was going to say right after that. Oh, I do have a question. What were were sandblasters just a way to make a hole in the sand so I can get out of a tent? What are sandblasters?
I never saw
it. Blasts sand.
Yeah, is that all it does?
Yeah,
I'm not. It sucked up sand and then shot it out.
I don't remember ever reading about them. They weren't in the Lynch films. I don't know what those were.
They blast
same
sand.
here. I was going to research that because I don't remember.
My guess is they're kind of Denny's version of the sound weapon from the Lynch movie.
Oh, is that
the weirding modules are back. He found a way.
Which is funny because, because Herbert actually said he wished he had thought of those for his book.
Really?
He really liked them. Here's the thing: is most people don't realize is Herbert was like a kid in a candy store when Lynch made that movie. He actually adored it. So
I didn't know that.
Except the ending.
Except the ending, of course, which wasn't all that was the ending is one of those things that's an anomaly mainly because they knew they had to finish this movie up and Lynch was kind of given free reins to do whatever the hell he wanted when he was filming. But when it came to editing, they basically took the movie away from him.
No shit.
Yeah.
Did anybody hear about this? Oh, I'm sorry, Elaine. Go on before we talk about this below us. We just talked about her,
dude. Is that the planetarian?
Jesus, mother loving Christ. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Somebody wind Matt back up.
They did the same thing. They do it to everyone, the Chinese.
I think I did see that poster that they exchanged it for Chang Chen.
Oh, Jesus.
I think.
And I'm sorry. People talk about America being racist. I'm sorry to go this route. The CCP.
Yeah.
Racist.
Absolutely. Come on. How many movies? That's why I've never understood how come Disney hasn't gotten more flack from it. I mean, they own the media, but I'm saying from other groups are saying, hey, how are you doing these films there where they're using slave labor or they're using the Muslims that they have in prison, the Uyghurs, or they have their races. Come on. They did it with the Star Wars films with Finn.
John Boyega. Yep.
Unbelievable. But I love the film.
Yeah, the film was awesome. We're going to move on in a minute. Andy, I don't know what you sent for $1.99, but Andy has been a dedicated member and fan since me being on with Jeff. No. It was a while ago. I'm trying to remember what stream that was. Was it mine or theirs? But thank you, Andy. Thank you for supporting the channel, man. I really appreciate it. Renier says #shut up, Steven. Let's make that viral. I like that too. But Elaine, I know you got to get going. I'm so grateful you came in for this because I really wanted to get your perspective, and also it makes my channel look better.
And before you go, I want to give you a fun fact. Herbert based his Guild Navigators and later books on Lynch's version.
I'm glad.
Fun fact I had ready to go on my own.
Sherry knew that.
Is that called Google?
Well, I thought you got that from Nick. Nick put that in chat. Is that what you got?
I was about to tell Matt I was proud of him until he stole it from Nick.
Don't know who that is.
I didn't even see Nick. Is Nick in the chat?
Yeah, I thought that's why he said that.
Right
oh, no, right there. There we go.
Oh, look, he knew the same one as I did.
Nick is the most handsome cookie. What a guy. I love that guy. I love that guy. He has to come back on sometime soon. So Nick,
so Elaine's the smart cookie. He's the handsome cookie. Got it.
Yeah, he is the handsome cookie. He is the handsome. But thank you, Elaine. I know you need help with your channel because you're like at almost 60K, I think. So why don't you tell everybody where to find you?
Well, yeah, my main channel, my main YouTube channel, Nerd Cookies, is where you can find the sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. And I have a Dune playlist. If you are new to Dune or if you are familiar with it, I've got a pretty good balance of like prelude to Dune videos, not too spoilery, and ones that kind of go into the deeper topics if you want. So hopefully there's something for everybody.
You taught me so much. No, you really have. You taught me a lot.
I'm sorry. I feel like I just go off on a tangent sometimes. Like you get me talking, and I feel like I don't know how to stop.
I don't mind you just talking, dude. Like
I ran out of breath several times.
You sounded like Batista.
Stop talking.
I think you'll do just fine. Yeah, you sound like Batista.
But thank you so much for having me.
Great talking to you. Great talking to you.
You're always welcome on our show.
Oh, well, thanks.
He's
well,
not
it's
part
so
of
much
the
fun
show.
to listen to you guys. And yeah, sorry, I'm busy.
I know, but you're always in the chat supporting the channel, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm always lurking.
Thank you so much. So everybody, thank you, Nerd Cookies.
All right, yeah, y'all take care. I'll see you around.
And this is for you.
It is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't.
That's hers.
So having said that, I want me some glory hole.
You almost lost to the Patriots. Come on.
There's another fun fact.
Yes, please.
You realize Scott is perfectly okay with pea suckers, but sand blowers is a bridge too far.
Sand blowers. I'm just so fucked up with those. Oh, I just figured out what you meant. Andy with another $10. I gotta now look at super chats. Hold on. No, don't.
Scott's got to do his job.
View on YouTube, because I hate that StreamYards will not show me what that is. So he is sending us a thank you from that little Shih Tzu looking dog. What is it?
Shiba Inu.
Nice. And Richie Dupe, I don't know who you subbed, probably me, but most likely Elaine. Thank you, dude. Elaine and Nick, two of my favorite YouTube couple. One of my favorite. I have a couple actually.
You got a new member as well.
Yeah, JFO. What up, dude? Thank you so much. And what level is that at? That is at the Oberyn Martell level. Thank you so much. That is your level.
Such a happy ending.
Dude, I have a gold spork.
You are not a gold spork. You're the Oberyn Martell level.
Look, spork. Check. Look at my spork. What color is my spork?
That means how long you've been a member, you dummy.
No, it doesn't. Why is his spork green? There's green
because
sporks.
He's new.
There's blue sporks.
Just take your spork and be happy.
And who else is a new member? George, like I think you are already a member, but what? I'm so confused right now.
I joined twice from my personal account and then now the YouTube account.
Oh my God, dude, you don't have to do that, George. You're on the channel already, but I'm
supporting your channel. I love your channel.
Thanks, man. Dude.
That's why I love my big brother.
George is the man. Thank you. You are again. So 2 times George is a little finger level, which our man Mads is
the
not.
way that sounds.
Yeah.
What happened?
You're not little finger Mads. You're not. I love the Guilt Man. Sporking is so abusive to Mad Martigan.
Yeah, for no reason. All I do is come and like lift up the content, like the level of greatness of this show.
Yeah, and my spork is flesh colored. Yes, Toxic Man Flu, because you are at the highest level too, I believe.
Wait, I want a black spork or a platinum spork.
I know.
Listen to what he just said. He's like, yes, because you're that color because you're at the highest level. See, so either it is how long you've been.
Oh my God!
And when you're in the chat, it means how long.
2
at the
hours
end,
later.
I know, right? The end clip. Those are color coordinated. Nick Cookies for $2. Mads just asked Scott to look at his spork. He did.
Yes.
He did. He's a sick bastard.
Look
my
at my
spork is mad color.
Oh my God, Tom.
I love you guys. Tom is back, and he is a scary man. Chucky.
I'm curious. How do you think it's going to do when it comes out? Do you think people are going to remember the nostalgia, or it's going to new generation?
Yeah, what do you think?
You know, I was all ready to hate that fucking trailer.
Yeah,
because I was
There's
like,
a trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer came out.
Now, of course, you know they're cleverly calling it just Scream, so you know nobody's going to be confused at all.
Wait a minute, wasn't the first one called Scream?
Yeah, I know, right? So this way, you know that it's a different movie from that one. Kind of like Halloween from a couple of years ago.
Why couldn't they just call it The Scream?
Well, you know, it could have been called Scream Returns or something like that. Or
is this Scream again? Scream louder?
Is it a reboot or is it a continuation?
No, they have had 4 movies already, which is funny because like they already kind of did the reunion movie because people forget that 10 years ago they made Scream 4 and that one was the one that commented on reboots.
So like that was a movie within a movie sort of weird.
No, that was kind of 3-ish. That was the one that was all in Hollywood or whatever. But no, like this one it's got all the living cast back anyway. And it's another 10 years after the last one, and it's kind of setting it up like a passing of the torch kind of thing
to a new generation of I got you.
So
is Liev Schreiber in this one?
No, he's been dead since the 3rd one.
A new generation of people who will be murdered.
But I like watched the trailer and I was like all ready to be like, oh god, we don't need another one of these. The 4th one was better than it should have been.
Holy crap.
And I ended up like laughing and giggling a bit at the trailer and I'm like, okay, now it makes it look a little
I didn't even know the trailer was out. Tom.
Yeah, it's out.
I didn't either.
It came out like 2 weeks ago.
either.
Wow, 2 weeks ago.
I took out a Scream once they killed Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, man. What about what's her
that
name
did
at the very
piss me
beginning?
off in the second movie
Drew
because I'm like,
Barrymore.
Yeah.
like Jamie Kennedy was like the nerds like us, that he was our guy in the movie. It's like, how can you do that, Todd?
And he went out with his back turned getting captured by a pedo van. Like
well, you know, like Jesus always said, you can lick the devil's candy, but don't get in this van. By the way, I loved
Jesus never said that.
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah. It was
some guy at a Waffle House.
Probably Jesus. Yeah.
The Book of
some
Matt.
guy at a Waffle House.
It's Dead Sea Scrolls. It was in Dead Sea Scrolls. Anyway,
did this guy know Handy Randy as well?
Yeah.
I love the score that they had for
know.
Dewey and Scream. The dom 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 dom. Remember?
That was great.
So good.
TT wants to know, and then we're going to move on from Dune. Rewatchable? I thought so.
I thought so too, but here's one statistic that I've seen that is not very good for the movie was people walking out were only giving it like there was only like 30% of the people saying they would want to watch it again.
Why is that?
I don't know. Because it did get decent scores.
So they're saying it's an epic. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's an epic, but we don't want to watch it again?
Yeah,
maybe the first 15-20 minutes, the exposition side of things, maybe people just want to get more into the. I mean, I can get that, but I love that. I love the intro. That was probably one of my favorite bits. The world building, great.
I mean, look at Fellowship of the Rings. There was world building throughout the whole beginning of that movie.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, you think about it. The most action was them running for the ferry, and then the very end where Boromir, like, kind of, tries to save them. Other than that, there wasn't a lot that happened in that movie. It was all exposition.
And who's knowing that maybe one of the factors they're taking in is how many times people watch it on HBO Max as well, because if that is a true statistic, because that was the only one that stuck out of me in that article that I read that had all the stuff broke down in it. That kind of like, ooh, that's not looking good for it, because usually, you want to get that up there a little higher.
Yeah.
And that tells me that they'll look at that and go, well, that means that if they don't want to rewatch this one, then they're probably not going to come back for a sequel. And that's what scares me, is if I have a feeling we'll get the sequels or at least one more. But what'll scare me will be like, but we're only giving you $50 million to make it. Because like somebody asked earlier, did Mortal Kombat make money? Oh, Mortal Kombat made a butt ton of money, but it only cost $50 million to make.
Right.
It barely cost more than the original film cost.
But you could tell.
Yeah, you could in a way, but that's the thing, is it would have been better if it was kind of like a glorious pilot for a streaming series. It felt
right.
like.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
The problem is with it is I think most people are seeing it at home, and you need to see this in the theater, in a cinema.
Yeah.
You need a big screen. Maybe it has that. Maybe it's not rewatchable at home. I don't know. It seemed to me when I saw it, because I saw it first at home and then I went and saw it at the theater. much better, obviously, in the theater, but because everything is big. I mean, it's a big movie. It doesn't translate the same way other films do. Lord of the Rings, it was different in the movie.
Oh, God, yeah.
One
you're right.
that did stick out that was good, though, was that more people are seeing it in the big theaters, like IMAX and stuff. So it is that'll help on the money side of things, because they said 40% more people are going to see it in premium theaters than saw Venom. So that means in IMAX and 3D and the like.
Oh, I didn't know they had it in 3D. I've never read.
I guess it was supposed to be. I don't know if it is in the US, but yeah, I'd have to double check.
Andy, thank you, dude. I'm sorry I missed this. Andy for £5. He says, for your little one, Scott. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. Andy, you support the channel, and I really appreciate it.
I could go see it in 3D tonight if I wanted to. I could have.
See, really? I didn't mind seeing it on my phone.
I might do that. I might go see it in 3D.
That's how I watched the Snyder Cut, Scott. I watched it on my phone. That was painful.
Wow.
Did you really watch this on your phone?
I watched it on my phone.
Should I come through this fucker and slap you in the goddamn
This is how big I saw it. This is how big I saw it.
Oh, come on.
And guess what? It was awesome. No, it's an S9.
You can't watch Dune on a phone. You're fucking with us.
What am I? No, I'm not. I'm not. I have children, and yet my big screen upstairs is a 50-inch. I just found out today I could Bluetooth it. So.
Well, go watch it on your TV.
I promise tonight I'm going to watch it on the 50-inch because I just realized tonight I could do Bluetooth through the TV. So I'll put my earbuds on and I'll watch it because I'm scared to wake everybody up.
So that kind of helps.
Oh, well, look at you, Mr. Grant Gregory.
I got a big TV, but I can't go outside.
Family, and put them to sleep, and then you can watch
what does that say?
All right, hold on.
What does that say?
What?
Look, my spork is gold, like this gold,
and
because
what's
I'm
the name?
Orbian Martell.
Well, no. It says member for 3 months and 8 days. Oberyn Martell.
Martell.
Yeah,
That's the
Oberyn.
gold spork.
No, the gold spork. The gold spork is Littlefinger.
No, bro, we're looking at it, dude.
Maybe if you were,
I'm done.
No, I'm just saying if you were part of my channel for a little bit longer and not a dick, it would be a different color. Like who's been a channel member for a long time? Let's see.
Someone that cares, obviously.
Look, Small Time's been around. He's blue. Toxic Manflu, who's a higher rating than you, he's red. It's all about length of
because
time.
he's at the higher level of Sporkinator.
Okay.
Listen to Scott. He sounds like Jeremy Renner with the Jeremy Renner app, where you could like pay money to be the biggest Jeremy Renner fan. It's like win dinner with Jeremy Renner. It's like win dinner with Spork.
He's not going to give anyone dinner. Or you kidding?
He'll cook you SpaghettiOs and make you watch a movie on his fucking phone with him.
Hey, does anybody know who these stars are? We got Jonathan Van Ness, Sarah Ramirez, Our Lady J, Kate Stein, Angelina Ross, Colton Haynes. Colton Haynes sounds familiar.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, Jamelia Jamil and more sent brief messages showing their support for the LGBT employees at Netflix. Because, Dave Chappelle, the closer, was, dedicated to his transgendered friend, Daphne.
Daphne.
That's special.
Colton Haynes was Arsenal in the CW Arrowverse.
I know. Who is
Colton Haynes?
Colton Haynes. That's who I know.
Yeah, he's
from.
the Speedy Red Arrow Arsenal.
He was also in Teen Wolf.
Oh, he's irritating. So I don't
very irritating.
Is there anything that grown-ups watch that he's been in?
No.
No, not that I know of.
I love how they phrase it. They're standing up to the company like they're not the fucking bullies.
Yeah, right.
But they're also standing up like, does anybody know who you are so we can honor you standing up? No. I think it's like an agent said, hey, get your ass out there and get some press and you can get a job. So I get paid.
Yeah.
This is why of the entire alphabet community that's now encompasses, out of 26 letters, they now have like what 20 they have 20 of them plus like the pound sign and ampersand. The T's are the worst. They're the ones that they rile up the most shit and demand the most fucking special privilege when they're like
Barney.
the most small percentage of the population there is, and they want to screech and yell the loudest. It's like,
And they're winning, dude.
It's pathetic because they're not winning. Because look at the media is owned by all these woke ass. It's all woke garbage, and they kowtow to 4% of people in the U.S. who use Twitter, and they act like that's the actual majority when it's not. It's just they're the ones screeching the loudest. They get the most goddamn attention for some reason because it's like, oh my god, you put on this. Okay, I have a cousin. I have a cousin that's one of these fucking Transformers, and her and her fucking boyfriend are both women who dress like guys, and she takes hormones and she has a mustache, and now she's like, I'm a man. I'm like, no, you're lesbians with extra fucking steps. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Is she like is she single? Because
what? What?
What happened to Mad? Mad, we lost him. Device not connected. Oh, Mad, sorry.
He rushed off to see if she was single.
Yeah, he really totally did.
He's trying to stalk me on Facebook right now.
He really did. Yeah, the one thing I got to say about this is that this activist, Ashley Marie Preston, we're finding out more about her. She actually, I think she's a him. That is a she or she. I don't know what she is. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just don't know. But I know that they have tweets, them, from the past that go against the LGBTQ plus P community. So, like, you know what? Everybody has a past. Everybody talks shit. Like, Dave did a brilliant comedy special. Was it his best? Mm-hmm. No, but it was brilliant in saying, this is my closer. This is my last talking about this. This is my drop the mic moment. And this was for my friend Daphne that I believe, and I'm speaking out of turn, but the way it felt from him was, I believe you people killed.
Right. No, I think he was saying the same thing. Sticks and Stones, I think, was better, but this had more impact, emotional impact, because of what the way he opened it, and I'm going to butcher it, the way he said it, like, hey, I'm rich and famous and I had a crazy, horrible year. I can't even fucking imagine what your year was like.
Yeah.
That transparency that he did, he was telling everybody, let's just get down to the facts.
Right. I'm being honest. Right. I'm being honest.
It was more like a philosophy session with humor.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Mr. Grant Gregory?
No, I'm saying it humanized him. It's like George was saying, like in his video. It definitely did. It made you appreciate, this multi-millionaire global star saying that he knows, and he understands. And as you said, it was more of like a TED talk or a philosophy talk that had humor around it. It wasn't his best comedy special, but I think for him, this was his most personal. This was his big middle finger to everything that happened.
Right. I agree. I totally agree. Matt, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. I was messing with my settings earlier today, and it just went into hibernation. I think I changed the setting up, so now I gotta go back in and fix that. Yeah.
George, what were you going to say?
No, what I was going to say was in some ways, I wish Netflix would take his special off the air, because he said if they do, he's going to do a 10-city or 20-city tour, one or the other. He's like, I'm not going to stop that. I'm taking the closer on tour. I think the more they mess with him, because the fact that he went to them and he said, all right, I'll meet with any employee from Netflix who wants to meet and talk about it. And none of them took him up on it.
They don't. Right. They don't. And if Netflix were to take the closer off, they would be the hypocrites that didn't take cuties off.
Right.
By not taking both of them off, they're sticking to a certain, I don't respect the cuties thing, but I respect that they're sticking to their belief that these have to be seen, which whatever. But if they took Dave off, I think they would have lost a lot. I mean, they lost a lot of support with cuties, but I think
750,000.
Yeah, they would lose even more.
I believe, I think so. Because you talked to a lot of people. I mean, there was someone interviewed the other day. I can't remember. I think it was on OAN or Fox or CNN. I don't remember which. I know they're all different, but which one? There was a black couple. It was two black lesbians. They're like, "What'd you think of Dave Chappelle?" We go, "We loved him. Well, we love the show. What's wrong with him? He didn't do anything wrong." They're like, "Okay, who?" Like going to the next person.
Right.
Thank you for your time. We're gonna move on. No, you. You look angry. Come on.
Right. Yeah. I wanted to just bring that up, like this, and I don't know who just said it, but these are like their managers said, "Hey man, you haven't had a job in a few months. Why don't you support the marginalized group against the black male in his comedy special?"
Right.
About his friend who's a transgender Daphne. Like,
Transgender Daphne.
Dumb.
Let's find the angry white girls with purple hair and half their head shaved, and find out how mad they are about what the black guy said about the trannies. Get the fuck out of here.
Which is hilarious, because of the fact that they're like, can't discriminate, but you want to take the black guy off of his show. Like,
Yep.
It depends where you are in the victim hierarchy.
Yeah. It's like right now, it's like they're fighting for that top rung of the the victimhood status ladder.
That pyramid's getting shorter and shorter though. They're going to be eating their own pretty soon. Like,
pretty soon. Black men are going to be right down here with the rest of us.
Not before the gay men. Like the gay men are like almost here with the
gay white men. Definitely.
Yeah. Gay white men. Oh yeah, they're on their way down.
But see, that's what always happens. That's what always happens to leftists. They don't have Trump 24/7 as an enemy anymore. When they don't have a focused enemy, they're too fractured. That's the only thing that holds them together. They start turning inwards. They eat each other.
Too many piranhas in the fish
tank. And they eat each other in many ways, but I'm talking about eat each other like.
Well, that was the whole point of the intersectional movement, anyways, was to have these different groups, have to support each other, right? So you have the trans right people would go and support the people who aren't big fans of Israel, and that whole thing with the expectations of them coming to support them.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Israel. I every time I think of Jewish people, I think of you. Yeah, that's.
It's because of the neck chain, isn't it? The gold.
Yeah, the gold. He's a hip hop.
That one's over here.
There it is.
There's the people's medallion right there.
There you go.
Place to be. That's cool.
That's a gift from superfan Adam Shawhan. You know what? I might not be monetized, Scott, but I have people buy me jewelry already. So
I just have channel members and money.
That reminded me of a show I saw years ago called The Hebrew Hammer.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah, the Hebrew Hammer was the bomb.
Yes,
I thought you were going to go with Flavor of Love or something like that because it looked like a big clock.
Right.
Yep.
That would always go with Flavor Flav.
Yep.
From Public Enemy. No, but it was a Hebrew Hammer because he said Jewish, and I was like, the Hebrew Hammer. He had a huge Star of David
Yeah.
I just fancy myself one of the Beastie Boys when I put all my jewelry on and I have my glasses, my fedora on. It's like I'm one of the Beastie Boys.
What the hell ever happened to them? I used to listen to the Beastie Boys.
One of them died.
Oh shit!
I think it was Mike D.
Mike D. Yeah, Mike D. passed away.
No, not Mike D. Not Mike D.
Or Ad Rock. Ad Rock.
No, not Ad Rock.
No. God damn it!
It was the Buddhist. It was the Buddhist.
What happened? Did he pray too hard and transcend?
MCA.
No, was it MC? No.
He was the Buddhist one. It wasn't Ad Rock. It wasn't Mike D. It was the other guy.
Did he ascend?
The other guy. It's like the three tenors. There's Luciano Pavarotti and the other guy. Like
Youch died. Yeah, Youch died.
Man, what happened?
Cancer.
Wow.
Cancer. It's been years.
It has
horrible.
Been horrible.
Yeah, I think they said he had it for like 14 years and went for about 5.
Because I thought he would.
Came back.
It was MCA. Okay. Yeah, because I'm pretty smart.
Sorry about that. I love that group. I loved Beastie Boys.
I just started introducing my son to the Beastie Boys. It's like we're gonna listen to a song called Paul Revere, buddy.
Dude, one of the best albums. And don't get me wrong, Licensed to Ill introduced me to them, but Paul's Boutique. Is right now would cost $2 billion to make with all the sampling. Was one of the greatest albums ever.
I'll tell you this, the song Sabotage can work in any movie trailer, no matter what. I did it to Passion of the Christ. It works perfectly. I did it to Lincoln. Still holds up. That song.
Share those, dude, because those are some hilarious ones you actually did good work on.
I just threw them together. They definitely work.
We don't do that here, Mike. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking.
It's too late.
Yeah, here's a little story.
Cancer is a bitch. Jesus.
Cancer is a bitch, guys. Before we leave, I did want to get into this. So the Alec Baldwin shooting, I understand. Look, it was an accident. Alec Baldwin's a douche. Yeah. It couldn't have happened to a better guy, but it was an accident. But if you come down far into this article, before the fatal rehearsal, there were signs of problems on the set. 7 crew members walked off several hours before Hutchins was killed to express their discontent with the matters that range from safety conditions to their accommodations, according to one of the crew members who left. The dispute began soon after filming began in early October, said the crew members, who requested anonymity because his fear speaking up would hurt his prospect future jobs. Yeah, of course. The crew was initially housed at the Courtyard Marriott in Santa Fe, according to the crew members. 4 days in, however, they were told they'd go forward. They would be housed at the Budget Coyote South Hotel. I just love the name. Yeah.
I mean, that's the Ritz in New Mexico.
Right.
You think Alec Baldwin stayed there?
No, fudge, no, dude. Fudge, no. There was other concerns, only minimum COVID-19 precautions coming from one of the biggest COVID pushers, Alec Baldwin, against Trump. Right. You know what I mean? So, like, this is the hypocritical shit that I want to talk about.
I agree.
It's do as we say, don't do as we do. When politicians and these actors, right before they go to take photo shoots, they put on masks. But before that, none of them freaking have them on. It's aggravating. But that was the biggest thing. It's the hypocrisy of these people. The shooting was terrible, but we have to also remember these people are hypocrites.
Yes.
And Alec Baldwin being one of the biggest ones.
I would agree. Absolutely.
They also said the crew member who was alarmed by the misfire told a unit production manager in a text message, "We've now had 3 accidental discharges. This is super unsafe." So this wasn't even the first one. They've had 2 or 3 prior to the death. And if you look into the girl's history who died, it's kind of funny who she's connected with. This could be 6 degrees of Clinton, if you know what I mean.
Oh no.
Her husband's part of the firm that's trying to prosecute the Clintons.
Yeah.
Well, at least she didn't shoot herself in the back of the head 15 times and then the gun disappeared.
And then died of COVID.
I got run over, shot, stabbed, and thrown out of a window, but I died of COVID. What the hell?
Starring this movie, The Old Way, starring Nicolas Cage. They also talked about, I was really nervous about it at first. I almost didn't take the job because I wasn't sure if I was ready, but doing it went really smooth. She said, I don't know what that fucking even meant. Sorry about that. Shouldn't even read that part.
Was that the 24-year-old who was the arms master?
Oh, maybe.
That was talking. Because I think she was quite young for that position.
I know the cinematographer again was married.
She was in her 40s.
Yeah, she was.
I'm saying, I think that quote wasn't.
Oh, that quote was from the young one. Okay.
Was from the arms master, I think. Or at least I've seen that attributed to
the replacement.
So whether it's true or not, I'm not too sure.
Because they replaced a lot of people because they were complaining about the working conditions, and they were having to stay an hour and a half away at a hotel instead of in whatever town.
Yeah, the fucking Coyote Ugly.
Yeah.
At least I got to see Poppy Montgomery dancing. Not Poppy Montgomery. What the hell is that chick's name? Piper Perabo dancing on a bar, right?
I think Tom said something on another one that Jensen Ackles was showing people gun safety because there wasn't someone there to do it or something.
As in, the guy from Supernatural?
Yeah, I think
he's in the movie with. I think.
Yeah, I think the podcast that Tom was on, I heard it. Or it was either Tom or someone that he was on with. I think.
Really? That's scary when the actor's teaching people how to be safe. You know what I mean? There's something going on. There's some messed up shit going on when your safety and stunt people aren't the ones actually doing it.
I said that was unconfirmed, but I remember hearing, because I listened to 90% of my podcast, so I don't remember exactly which one it was, but I remember Tom was on there. That's all I can remember.
Interesting. All right, guys, we're going to close it out tonight. We've gone about 2 hours, but first off, the Ginger Ninja did say, hail to the amazing panel and amazing chat. Thank you, my friend. You rock.
Gotta give that man a sub.
I don't know if I missed everybody. The Ginger Ninja dude, his artwork is freaking awesome.
It is.
And talking about another artist, Red Gaze, even though you're right, but you're still an artist in my mind. What is this?
Thank you, my friend. This is just to your point about the hypocrisy of these people. This is a tweet that didn't age well from Alec Baldwin from 2017. It was an officer, ended up shooting a man in a struggle, and then immediately he just goes to,
that.
I tweeted this at him the other day. Actually, I was like,
"Good for you,
Alec." I was
because
fuck him.
Yes, and I'm with you on that. This is the problem with this guy. Everyone and I love, dude, Thomas Gilkey. I love you, but I disagree with you on this because he has put cops in danger. Yep. He has put police officers who split-second decisions about shooting a human being. He has gone against them and put them in danger, saying that the rest of their lives they should spend in jail. Well, guess what?
This feels a lot like cancel culture to me.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
I think we can arise above
digging up old tweets to try and make somebody look like an asshole.
That's what
he is an asshole, though.
No, he's an asshole, but that's what they do to us. Let's say, or to other
that's
people.
True.
They separate the action that's currently happening without it being resolved, and going, let's see what the person said 20 years ago, out of context.
Right.
Like, hey,
but what does this say? We do the same, though.
No. I'm not saying cancel him. I'm not saying cancel him. I'm not saying he should lose work. What I'm saying is point out the hypocrisy.
Simply a point.
I agree with you. In that, he's an asshole. To me, Alec Baldwin is like, if the asshole king, he's the king.
My point is, like, if it was Chris Pratt, Clint Eastwood, would we be saying the same kind of shit?
No, because they would try to cancel him. What I'm saying is point out the hypocrisy of these people doing what they have done so many goddamn times. I'm not saying Alec Baldwin. I said it from the very beginning. This was an accident. He shouldn't lose his jobs over this. Like, this was a terrible accident, but I'm not going to not point out how much of a dick this guy's been to everybody else that's been put in a worse position with gun violence.
What we're saying is fucking learn from it. Learn from your idiocy. Learn a lesson. That's it. Yeah, no one's saying he shouldn't have a job anymore. Just learn something from what he did.
Well, it's just I've seen a lot of people like saying, we don't know anything yet about what happened outside of very little. We've had a lot of people coming with, I heard from somebody on the set. And then Deadline going and run with that. We've had IATSE going out there and putting shit in the press that it was loaded with an actual bullet.
What?
You've got people out there saying that a Trump supporter gave him the gun.
Oh, yeah.
God.
That's what I'm saying. So, that's where everybody just needs to step the fuck back for 5 minutes, chill out, wait and see what happens.
Okay, so when it comes to that, I understand.
And that's the thing is I see a lot of people that I do respect that are kind of playing the same kind of politics ball that the other side plays, and it's coming off. It's poorly is the best term, I guess.
It's also important, because something was said earlier, about him making it dangerous for police because of speech. We need to be careful because that is the same thing that you see coming from the other side, whether it be Dave Chappelle or anyone else. Alec Baldwin can say whatever he wants to about cops or whatever, but we should definitely take care that we don't use that same language.
Rhetoric.
Right, that same rhetoric when we're talking about people on the other side.
Again, I think Red Gaze and I
for 8 years.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a dick. Red Gaze and I think, Red, and speak for yourself, man. What I'm just saying is I appreciate people that point out his hypocrisy.
I got you.
Like this guy, this was an accident. And if it was the left and this was someone like, I don't know, Chris Pratt, they would be canceling it. They would eat him alive.
Right.
Yep. So I think there's nothing wrong with pointing out, this is what you've said in the past. Now maybe you can learn from this that this isn't what you should be doing.
Well, that's the bigger point is let's take Alec out of the equation. Even without knowing anything of what happened, what can we do in the future to make sure this never happens again? And another thing that I think needs to be pointed out is not to take anything away from the tragedy, but this is the first accident we've had like this in almost 30 years. That's not bad. Considering gun statistics.
The big name shooter, essentially.
Was the last one The Crow?
The Crow, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that tells me that they've done a pretty damn good job to this point of being as safe as possible. So, but now we've gotten to a point where people were telling me earlier, just 2 years ago now, they have new training guns that actually have realistic recoil, but they don't actually project anything out of them.
That's scary, though. The idea, but yeah, I know.
Well, it's something that they should be using in movies.
Safer.
It's getting to the point where, like, yeah, there's a lot of other things we should be doing. This, it reminds me more of a situation that we had. What was it? 2 years ago, the Deadpool 2 was shot. Where sadly a stunt lady lost her life, and the reason is because for the camera they didn't want her to be wearing a helmet. It's like, well, that's bullshit. You could CGI that shit, or even just put her hair over top of the helmet.
Yeah.
Like there's 100.
Make the helmet green.
And that's what I'm saying. This could very well be, and I hate using the term accident, but accident caused by negligence and people rushing things. And you had a lot of other hubbub going on around the set that we've been hearing a lot of hearsay about. And you're going to have a lot of political groups using this for both ways. And just remember, if you're somebody who's very pro-gun, to just be careful what you're saying. I'm not telling you what to do. Just be careful right now, because just remember how this is being used against him right now. This may come back to bite some people who are making some jokes about it right now.
But that's see that, and I love that you just said that, because you want to attack Alec Baldwin because he is that guy. But you got to remember, like, what we have said so many times, like the left does it when it turns on them, they're going to realize. I hope he just learns, like, wait a minute, holy crap, I've been doing that. Like, now I see it.
Now we're the truth. I think Alec Baldwin will never make another movie.
Wow.
Think so?
Probably not, but not just him.
It won't be anything where he has to handle.
Yeah, I think he'll back out for a while. I don't think it'll be at least a couple years. I mean, he'll probably do some low level stuff, but that's it.
What were you going to say, Red?
Yeah, I was going to say it's an opportunity, not just for him, but like it's not. I don't obviously advocate for cancel culture, but this is definitely an opportunity to say, look, maybe idiots should think before you jump to conclusions. You know, nobody should be jumping to conclusions right now. You should let it pan out. But I mean, just take a look. You look stupid now, and that's not just. It's not just about looking stupid. It's about society as a whole, man. People need to stop just making these split, rash decisions just because they see something that fits their narrative. Just knock it off.
Right. I'm with you. Like, let's stop the bullshit. Like, let investigations happen. Let the truth come out. And
he might get into a lot of trouble, not because of the reasons that we think, though. That's the thing.
Right.
Like, he might be facing not so much criminal charges, but
negligence.
It'll probably be
civil.
Well, here's the thing: it'll be more civil thing because he's one of the producers.
He's a producer on it,
right?
And he was
there,
so he was a senior person.
Yeah,
it's still too soon to say that criminal charges are off the table. I'm not saying that they're gonna happen.
It could be like manslaughter,
involuntary.
Yeah, involuntary manslaughter, which would be scary.
We can only go by the history of these so far, and in the history of these, there's only been like one or two of these major accidents that have ever happened on a set where somebody has gone to jail or prison. Wow. That I can think of offhand. There may be some more, but only two that I can really think of, and that would have been, I believe, the Victor Morrow situation. I believe one of the stunt guys, the stunt coordinator.
One?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other one would have been the one from a few years back. They were making the Greg Allman movie. I believe it was called Midnight Rider.
Oh, on the train tracks.
Yeah, on the train tracks. Yep. And those are the only two cases, and I believe the director was the one who went to jail for that one. So, that's a very rare thing, because a lot of times, like, here's the problem with this. Even Valliant said it yesterday on our show. You can do everything you think you're doing right, and it still can go wrong. And look what happened with like the Crow situation. Like that
was horrible.
It's one of those things where, because people are like, why didn't he check the gun? He's like, maybe he did. And we don't know. We don't know all the facts yet. The only facts we know right now is what have come out of the court report, and that's very little. There are a lot of people equating a lot of things to what the police said when they haven't. There are a lot of people equating things to eyewitness accounts when, let me tell you something, a lot of what you're hearing of I was there and whatnot, it's bullshit. Because if somebody was actually a witness, the cops have already told them, you do not go to the press and talk about this shit. Those people, if they did, they'd get in a lot of trouble probably, because this is something right now that's on complete fucking lockdown.
Right.
And chances are it was all caught on film. Let's be real here, guys.
Yeah. This is
and usually with a gun discharge sort of thing like that, it's on a closed set, so they minimize the amount of people as possible.
Right, and I have to, there is a part of me that agrees with this too. Like, it is like the left attacks my way of living, my way of freedom. Not everybody, don't get me wrong, but the like hardcore people. So you gotta be able to defend yourself. We've spent so much time just saying, be quiet. Silence is golden. It'll run its course. That was like 2016. It's now 2021, almost 2022. Like, there are times where, like, I don't want Alec Baldwin to be that, but don't be scared once we do get evidence to defend our side of the story, because
and I'm not saying we shouldn't have the discussion. I'm just saying we shouldn't be so quick to, jump and condemn everything that we hear.
Wait till all the facts are in and then jump down his throat.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the worst part about it is some of the memes that are coming out are ridiculously funny, and it's hard not to enjoy them.
I got a bunch of them.
And I've even made a joke here and there. So I'm not above it. Yeah. I'm not saying everything's above jokes, right? Like, but my point is like the visceral attacks, like the digging up of all these tweets, and then there's this story going around that he supposedly said something just before the shot, and we don't even know if that's coming from. That's what I'm saying. Like, you've got a lot of tabloid shit happening right now. You've got a lot of people going to use it for a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, he said the Lannisters send their regards or something like that.
No, not that. That's good though, but no, Tom, the thing you're referring to, that would actually that could actually lead to those involuntary manslaughter charges.
Unfortunately, in this case, I'd see having a hard time making it.
Yeah, I agree with Tom 100%.
Because you'd have to prove that there was like some kind of
intent.
Well, no, but that's not what involuntary manslaughter is.
I know what you're saying, but it's still like you would have to prove that in some way he was still. Because here's the thing, like
negligent, right?
Yeah. Well, here's my point.
Well, he was like,
if you accidentally kill somebody by running them over, and the cops still say you're not at fault, you can still be charged with involuntary manslaughter. I get what you're saying, Matt. Right? Like, I know it. In this case, though, this is like, and I tried explaining this in the worst but best way I can kind of come close to it, is it's almost like, you know, when you get sent to war, whether or not the person who sent you to war was right or wrong, you generally don't put the troops on trial, right? In this case, he's, depending on what it is, right? Like,
he's also the troop and the general because he's in charge.
Well, like, my point is like the president wouldn't go.
They wouldn't allow
it.
My point,
like, I don't remember anybody.
Are you saying it's California and the Hollywood studio system?
I don't think it's in California, but it's New Mexico, isn't it?
It was in New Mexico, but my point is this: is like he may not be found at fault in any way, shape, or form on the actor side of things. It's the producer side of things
that he might be.
Then it's still going to probably go to civil. And again, I'm just speculating. I'm only speculating.
Yeah, as am I. But I'm saying if anyone, right, points a gun at someone, whether or not they, even if they believe it's not loaded or it's not functional, whatever, right? And they go, gonna get you, and then they pull the trigger.
Okay, let me come up with a better scenario. Okay, let's say you're at work in a factory and somebody accidentally gets hurt or killed, right? Like, it's kind of that situation. Unless you can prove, you know, that there was some.
But isn't there somebody on that set that's supposed to make sure that gun
and that's
is
the
fake?
big question. That's the big question right now. Everybody has, because the lady that was in charge of that, nobody knows for sure if she was on the set or she was one of the people that supposedly walked out that morning. And there was 3 guns, and they all looked the same. Right. And the story that came, and this is the official court record now. This is all I know that is official. That Alec Baldwin was handed a gun by the assistant director that was told it was a cold gun. Now, this is where the prop part needs to be dropped from all this shit. Everybody keeps saying prop this and prop that. No. All these guns, whether they're considered movie guns or not, whatever you want to tag onto them, they're still actual weapons, right?
They're firing pins.
They can be considered dangerous weapons. So the point is, they have 3 different kinds for 3 different kinds of shots, and then they have, like, I brought this up before in many different ways, but like, point being is he was handed the gun by the assistant director. It doesn't say other than that who handed the assistant director the gun. All it said was that he was assured that it was a cold gun, and the assistant directors told the same thing to Alec Baldwin. That's all I know right now.
Right.
That's official.
Well, okay, so we did have report. You're right. It's not official, but the reporting in the article we just read was, and what we're hearing, there was also 2 other
but
discharges, which blows my mind how you could have 3.
It doesn't matter who handed him the gun, what he was told by the gun. He has a individual responsibility to act as if that gun is loaded and can fire and can hurt someone. That is his responsibility.
Is it on a movie set? I don't know.
I'm not so sure.
Turned around and pulled the trigger at them. I don't think we've heard any reports to confirm that's what happened.
I'm not saying it is.
Here's the thing, though, Matt, is and again, I don't know all these things, but I do know that you have to have a specialized armorist on the set when you do these things. So they are the one who is the specialist. They're the ones who are in charge of the safety. So in the end, I think this is, and again, I don't know for sure, but this is where the involuntary manslaughter thing comes into play, where I'm saying is I don't know if he can be held accountable since the specialist is on set. And, you know, it may be one of those things where they are like held accountable no matter what, because that is what they are supposed to be there for, right?
That's their job. Yeah.
Like, I mean, and this is a case where you can't really consider a gun like a normal gun. Like that's where it's tough.
Yeah,
right?
No, and I kind of agree with you on
it's
that.
It's not like if you're like standing on a range with your buddies and you accidentally shoot your friend. That's involuntary manslaughter, right? I get what you're saying, Matt. Like here, and I know the definition is almost exactly the same, but the difference is it was like Alec was doing it for a job. So like if this was anybody else on the set, like
did Clint Eastwood check Dirty Harry gun every time he shot at somebody?
Listen, if this happened in the act of him portraying the person and doing the thing, like whatever it is, right? That's one thing. But if for whatever reason this happened when he was not supposed to be like
cameras running. Yes, I get what you're saying.
Oh, right. That's
and
different.
Sadly, that's one of the commentaries that's going out there that I don't know is very accurate.
Is that what you're saying?
They did say it was during a rehearsal.
So it's still a rehearsal. That's
rehearsal
which contradicts one of the other stories, which says they were asking for a second take. So that's what I'm saying. You cannot believe anything that goes out.
We really got to wait to hear.
That's why I'm keeping it very.
I want to ask Matt, who would be responsible since you were an officer if someone handed him the gun and he thought it wasn't loaded?
It doesn't matter. He still has the individual responsibility because the other guy didn't make him pull the trigger. Again, this is
but
broad.
It's a movie prop.
No, it's random.
He has. No, I'm just saying.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I made. That's what I made the difference between. Like I said, if it's part of the movie, the script. Okay, this is when he does it. That's one thing. But if it is outside of him being required to do so because of the movie, those are two entirely different things.
I agree with you 110% there, Matt. And I agree. Yeah, we're on the same page there. Exactly.
Yeah. So if it happened during the movie, would he still be charged with involuntary manslaughter?
I don't know. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
that's what I've been trying to say all this time is like, yes, if Matt is, and I think now we're on the same page because like Matt is correct. If this was just off the cuff and he's just like, fuck you guys playing around and just doing it to be a dickhole, then not only will it be involuntary, it could even be worse than that. But in the act of the movie, I'm not so sure that.
Yeah,
and I know there's people that are saying stuff about gun laws in the chat there. These do not apply here. This is a totally different situation. That's why they have the name prop gun on them and all this shit, even though they are actual firearms. And I know people, it's really tough. I even got into a few people about this. It's like, I get what you're saying, and they should always be treated with the same respect as an actual gun.
Right.
But that's part of the problem is it's not because
they're supposed to shoot blanks, so it looks like a real gun, but it's
so it depends. Like through my time in the Army,
come out and
you want gunpowder to come out, you want that firing.
Well, there are different types. Like there's a dummy gun that does not do anything at all, and then there's ones that actually do. Yes, and that's I think.
Well, they also use a different combination for the close-ups because they want to get that bigger fiery sort of bellow out of it. So it's
the thing that gets me is that there is reports and a lot of reports saying there was 2 misfires prior to this one. How do you get to a third? How do you even, if that is true?
And that goes with, and that was where I was saying, like, that's where we're getting to a bigger question of
safety
negligence in general and safety on the crew and who's in charge of deciding what, things are being put into place. Because that's where we have IATSE getting involved in this, and that's where things are going to get muddy.
Yeah.
Right. Because it was done off the
responsibility as well.
What was that? Sorry, Grant.
The director would also be as accountable as well.
Yes.
If that was the case.
That's where I've said, like, in a lot of these cases, it's generally whoever would be the specialist, the stunt person, or the director is generally the one who's found at fault because they're the ones who make the final call. Like, it usually boils down to who's making the final call on these things. But this is a different situation because you are right, man. And I can't honestly say because it is a firearm that it is kind of a dicey thing. Like, but as far as I know, there was no charges really filed in the Crow situation at all.
Yeah, and they don't have to be immediate. Like they can wait and bring it up later, especially with such a high profile situation. But what I was going to say was like, look, I through my time in the Army and being a cop, Like
I know, he's
use
losing it in the chat. He just needs to step back and take a breath. Sorry.
I know. I love him though.
I have used like blanks with the blank adapters. You know, I've used the paint rounds. I've used several different training, different types of ammunition and weapons. You know what I mean? And even then, like the care that you take, and we're shooting each other
like
with
live rounds, right?
Absolutely, right.
Plain and simple. Yeah.
And
I mean, let's be real. Alec's been in enough movies. He should have had sufficient.
A lot of it. Oh, come on, the getaway.
That I will not like argue with, right?
Yeah. Right.
But I feel like this was probably and again, it's not an excuse, but from what we've been hearing from the early reports, and yes, there was an investigation.
Yes, there was definitely.
But I don't think any charges were ever.
I don't think
filed.
anybody was found guilty of anything. No charges were filed. I might be wrong about that, Toxic. I know there was there has to be a criminal investigation. Somebody was shot. And killed. There has to be a criminal
investigation. And I'm curious if this isn't the same situation, because if that's the case, it sounds like it more to me, especially with who was hurt, how they were hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, because what that was one of the caps from the other types of blanks got lodged in the gun, and when they put in the blank with more gunpowder for the shot that was close up, that's when that dislodged and killed Brandon Lee. I'm wondering if that's not the same thing that happened here, because that melted and it basically, blew up. And I think that's how
turned into a projectile. Yeah.
Isn't that what happened to that one guy in the 80s? He had a TV series.
Yes.
Like they used to have that song, "We Want to Be a Hero" or something. You know what I'm talking about, Tom?
Hex or something. What's his name? Shoot. I know who you're talking about. We were just talking about him earlier too, and I just forgot his name.
Well, with all that discussion, we got a new channel member, an actual Littlefinger member. Thank you so much. One of the top line of my members, Ruben Christopher Haynes. Unlike Mad Martigan, you are at the top of the list,
know what?
my
I'm
friend.
going to take it back. I'm going to drop a level.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to say something though, and I understand Toxic Man Flu. I understand where you're coming from, but the thing is here, you're talking like Hexum. Yes, that's his name. You're talking like as if Alec Baldwin walked in on the set with a gun and was just being like sporadic and shooting it off here. That is not the situation, right? This is no different than in a lot of ways. You almost got to look at it like, okay, here's a better example then. An officer of the law who has to actually use their gun. Like there's always an investigation whether or not they were,
at fault or not,
right? Like it's not the same, but it's similar. It's not a cut and dry gun case.
I mean, for me, this is only me speaking personally. When we're looking at this case, dude, like this is a movie set. Alec Baldwin picked up this gun. Now, if there was two before this, then this changes everything I say. But if this was the first accident, you're picking up a gun. You've probably done it a million times in movies. The last thing you're thinking is this is going to kill somebody.
Right.
Like that's like going into the like a Stallone Rambo movie thinking any of his automatic weapons are going to kill somebody. But if this happened prior to this in these movie sets, someone's getting in a lot of trouble.
But that is the responsibility of the armorer, whoever is teaching them.
No, because if there was more than one, you're the
treating
producer
them.
too. I mean,
dude, about treating the guns as if they are always dangerous, always loaded.
Yeah.
That's their responsibility. And if they're not drilling that in their head, if they're not staying on top of them, like, it drives me crazy seeing so many fingers on the triggers.
I do know a little bit about the armorist who's on this. She was young. This is only like her second or third film.
Yeah, her third film.
And they are trying to paint a lot of this onto her now. So you got to remember, like I said, there's going to be a lot of fucking
that sucks, man.
bullshit
that's
going
not
on.
fair to her.
So,
That's
the thing
wrong.
though, is we all got to kind of step back and wait and see what happens here. Like,
well, I mean, if she's good enough to be able to do the job,
there was a woman.
She's going to be in that scenario. She needs to at least have the accountability for it as well. That needs to be there, whether she's young or not. That's not her fault for her age. But if she wasn't capable of doing it, whoever put her in that position is equally, if not more, responsible.
well, I've already seen hit pieces on her basically, and that's why I brought it up, because like I told you, they're going to come after everybody at every angle to try and make everybody look bad in certain ways. And they even went to the extent of dragging out the fact that her father had worked on one of the Crow sequels. It's like, what is that relevant to anything? Like that, nothing happened on the Crow sequels, you idiots.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're just showing your bias here.
Movie happened on those sets. Like, I don't like that idea of dragging stuff up to connect the dots that weren't there.
Right, because again, straw man argument. They're trying to. That's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah, it's tough. We're gonna call it quits tonight, guys. Thank you everybody for being here tonight. Everybody up here has a channel. So ETEP has a channel, Mr. Grant Gregory, George the Giant Slayer, the Red Gaze, and Tom from Midnight's Edge, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Radio, Midnight's Edge Espanol, and myself included.
Still available for most of those streams.
You're not getting
Learn Spanish magic and you'll
I
get
sent
you
you the link. You couldn't make it.
Yeah, you're a dick.
One
That's
time.
Right. Have a great night,
that was
everybody.
your shot, man.
Please subscribe to everybody.
Oh, my name is Eddie.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, see, I'm in the right place. I've been telling you, but it's still crooked.
Ogre Martell.
It was the dump. You watched the dump.
Look at George. Beautiful. Good night, everybody.